Welcome, chosen ones, to this life-changing message designed exclusively for those who have been called, those who are faithful followers of Christ, seeking deeper understanding, encouragement, and unwavering strength. If you do not know Him yet, this message might not resonate with your heart in the same way. But if you are among those who believe, those who have felt the touch of the Holy Spirit and know that they are set apart, then stay, listen, and let these words ignite something powerful within you. Prepare for revelation. As chains break, faith strengthens, and your divine purpose becomes clearer than ever before. This is a word meant to reach deep into your spirit and remind you who you are in Christ. Today, I speak to you not just as a voice, but as a vessel of God's truth. I come with a message that carries the fire of heaven, designed to set your soul ablaze and awaken the sleeping giant within you. This is not an ordinary message, but a call, a divine clarion for the chosen. Some of you have been carrying heavy burdens, feeling as if the weight of the world has pressed against your very soul. You may have wondered if God still hears you, if He sees your tears and knows your pain. I'm here to tell you, chosen ones, that the answer is a resounding yes. God's promises for you are greater than any struggle you face. Understand this: what you are enduring right now is not the conclusion of your story. No, it is the very beginning of your breakthrough. The sleepless nights, the battles that seem relentless, and the broken dreams are not signs of defeat. They are the birth pangs of something extraordinary. If you hear my voice today, and if the Spirit of God stirs within you, know that God has not forgotten you. Do not quit. You are on the brink of a miracle, standing at the threshold of your breakthrough. Let me take you back to the story of Joseph, a story of betrayal, hardship, and ultimately, triumph. Joseph was sold into slavery by his own brothers, those who should have protected him. He was falsely accused and thrown into prison for a crime he did not commit. At every step, Joseph had a reason to surrender to despair, yet he clung to the promises of God, even when the darkness surrounded him. Genesis 50:20 says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Joseph's story teaches us that the pit is not your destiny, and the prison is not the final chapter of your life. The journey from the pit to the palace was orchestrated by God, and the same God who lifted Joseph will lift you. The very chains that were meant to bind you will be broken by the power of God, turning your trials into testimonies. Your struggles are a setup for your promotion, a divine arrangement that is molding you for something far greater. Romans 8:28 reminds us, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose." Chosen one, hold this truth close to your heart. You have been called according to His divine purpose, set apart for something greater than your present circumstances. Even when life feels chaotic and the pieces seem scattered beyond repair, trust that God is working behind the scenes. His hands are in every detail, crafting beauty from what appears broken. Every tear you've shed, every prayer you've whispered in the silence, and every moment of pain you've endured is not wasted. It is woven into His plan, a testament to His unwavering love and wisdom. Remember, you are not walking this path alone. The Lord walks beside you, sustaining you with His strength. His promises are unbreakable and true, even in the darkest valleys. Do not let doubt or fear rob you of this truth. Stand firm, knowing that God's purpose for you will come to pass in His perfect timing. Trust Him with each step, for His plans for you are greater than you can imagine. The waiting season. It can feel like an eternity. For some, the silence of God during this period can be the hardest part. You have prayed, fasted, and believed, yet nothing seems to change. The enemy whispers in your ear, telling you that your breakthrough will never come, that God has forgotten you. But hear this: God's delays are not denials. His timing is perfect. Consider Abraham and Sarah. They were promised a son, but years passed, and still, there was no fulfillment. Impatience led them to take matters into their own hands, resulting in Ishmael, but God's plan was still intact. The promise was Isaac, and at the appointed time, Isaac was born. Genesis 21:1 declares, "The Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah as he had promised." Know that God will do what he has promised in your life as well. It may not come when you expect it, or in the way you imagine, but it will come. His word never returns void. Isaiah 40:31 promises, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." In seasons of waiting, when life feels stagnant and challenges seem insurmountable, remember that God is at work. Your strength is being renewed even when you don't perceive it. You may feel weary now, weakened by trials or weighed down by uncertainty, but God is using this time to build you up from within. He is fortifying your spirit, strengthening your faith, and preparing you for the path that lies ahead. Do not confuse waiting with inactivity. Waiting on the Lord is an active state of trust and expectation, where your spirit clings to his promises. It is in these moments of stillness that God works most profoundly, shaping your character, deepening your resilience, and aligning your steps with his divine purpose. Even when the evidence of his work is hidden, rest assured that he is moving on your behalf. Trust in him, and you will find that when the time comes, you will soar, run, and walk with newfound strength and unyielding endurance. There are many among you who feel as though you have been wandering in a wilderness for far too long. The wilderness can be barren, dry, and lonely. You ask, "Why, Lord? Why am I here?" But I need you to understand that the wilderness is not a place of punishment. It is a place of preparation. When God delivered the Israelites from Egypt, they did not immediately enter the promised land. Instead, they spent 40 years in the wilderness. Why? Because the wilderness was where God prepared them. It was where they learned to trust him for daily provision, where they learned to follow his guidance, by a cloud by day and fire by night. The wilderness was a training ground for their victory. Deuteronomy 8:2 reminds us of God's purpose in leading his people through the wilderness. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart. This season of your life, though it may feel barren and difficult, holds deeper meaning. God is using your wilderness not to break you, but to shape you, stripping away what does not belong and refining your character. He is testing your heart, ensuring that your faith is strong, steadfast, and ready for the blessings he has prepared. In the wilderness, distractions are removed, and what remains is the true essence of your dependence on him. It is in this sacred space that you learn resilience, trust, and surrender. The trials you face are not pointless. They are molding you, teaching you to lean fully on God's provision and guidance. Chosen ones, do not lose hope. The wilderness is not your final destination but a passage, the road to your breakthrough. Hold fast to his promises, for beyond the wilderness lies the land of fulfillment and purpose. Trust that every step, no matter how challenging, is drawing you closer to his greater plan. For some, the journey has been long and painful, filled with countless moments of doubt. You may feel as though your faith is being tested beyond its limits. But let me remind you of the woman with the issue of blood. She suffered for 12 years, spending everything she had on doctors, only to grow worse. She lived in isolation, pain, and hopelessness. But when she heard that Jesus was near, something within her sparked. She pushed through the crowd, despite her weakness and the obstacles, knowing that if she could just touch the hem of his garment, she would be healed. And she was. Her healing did not come from the crowd or from the many physicians she had sought for years. It came from an unshakable, desperate faith that drove her to push through doubt and discouragement, to reach for the hem of Jesus' garment. This act of faith changed everything. With a touch, power flowed, and healing came instantly. Chosen ones, let this story remind you, do not give up now. You may be on the verge of your own breakthrough, closer than you think. The enemy knows when you are near victory, which is why the trials seem fiercest right before the breakthrough. Darkness rages before the dawn. The storm roars loudest before it calms. This is not the time to waver or fall back. Hold fast, keep pressing forward, keep lifting your prayers to heaven with unwavering trust. Your miracle is within reach. It may be one prayer, one step, or one simple act of faith away. Let each moment be filled with hope and a firm belief that the God who heard her silent cry will hear yours. Keep pushing through the noise and the struggle, for your victory is closer than it appears. Consider Elijah, who prayed for rain after a long drought. 6 times he sent his servant to look for a sign, and 6 times there was nothing. But Elijah didn't stop praying. On the 7th time, the servant reported a small cloud, as tiny as a man's hand, rising from the sea. It was small and seemingly insignificant, but Elijah knew it was the beginning of the breakthrough. That little cloud brought a downpour that ended the drought. 1 Kings 18:44 tells us, "Then it came to pass the 7th time that he said, 'There is a cloud, as small as a man's hand, rising out of the sea.'" Chosen ones, do not despise small beginnings or overlook the subtle signs that God places in your path. That tiny cloud on the horizon, no larger than a man's hand, may seem insignificant at first. Yet, it was that very cloud that signaled the end of a long drought and the coming of a downpour in the days of Elijah. Similarly, that small glimmer of hope in your life, that whisper of encouragement or flicker of opportunity, may be the very sign that a flood of blessings is on its way. Remember, God's promises are unfailing. They are yes and amen. He is not a man that he should lie, nor does he waver in what he has declared over your life. Even when circumstances seem slow or progress seems minimal, trust that he is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail according to his perfect plan. Do not grow weary in waiting or lose faith in the process. Keep nurturing that seed of faith, believing that what he has started in you, he will surely complete. The downpour of his blessings, the fulfillment of his promises is coming. Hold fast, for what he has spoken will come to pass in his perfect timing. Some of you feel crushed by the weight of your trials. You are tired, and giving up seems like the easiest option. But remember this: God did not create you to be defeated. Isaiah 54:17 declares, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." The battle is fierce because you are on the brink of victory. The enemy wants you to quit before you cross the finish line, but you were not made to quit. The fire within you is stronger than the storm around you. Lift your head and stand firm, for you are not defined by your struggles or circumstances. Walk confidently in the victory that has already been won for you through Christ. Remember, you are not a victim shackled by the weight of your trials. You are a victor, strengthened and redeemed by the one who overcame the world. God's promises over your life shine brighter than any mountain looming before you. His word stands unshakable, unwavering, even when the path ahead seems veiled in uncertainty. You may not see the entire journey, and there may be moments when doubt whispers that the struggle is too much to bear. But trust that God is guiding you, step by faithful step, through every season and challenge. Do not let weariness or fear stop you now. Each prayer, each step forward, draws you closer to the fulfillment of His divine plan. You are on the brink of breakthrough, nearer than you've ever been. Stand tall, breathe in His promises, and move forward with courage. What God has begun in you, He will bring to completion. The victory is already yours. Hold on to that truth and press onward. As you take in this message, do not let it fade away like a fleeting emotion. Let it stir your spirit and move you to action. Share this message with others who need it. There are many souls who are silently struggling, feeling the weight of their calling and battling to keep their faith alive. Be the voice that reminds them that God sees them, that He honors their faith, and that their breakthrough is near. Comment, Amen, as an affirmation of your faith. Let it be a bold declaration that you stand with God's promises. Each Amen is more than a word. It is a statement of belief, a proclamation that you are chosen, called, and prepared to walk in the fullness of God's plan for you. If this message has touched your heart, subscribe and join this community of believers. Together, we walk this path, supporting each other through trials and celebrating victories. Stay connected, stay encouraged, and keep your eyes fixed on the promises of God. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we come before your throne, hearts ablaze with the knowledge that you are the God of all flesh, the God of every breakthrough, and the God who never fails. Lord, as I lift up every chosen one under the sound of my voice, I ask that you pour out your Spirit like never before. Let your fire fall from heaven and consume every doubt, every fear, and every obstacle standing in the way of their destiny. Father, for those who are weary and on the verge of giving up, I declare by the power of the Holy Spirit that they will rise up. I proclaim that chains of discouragement are breaking right now in Jesus' name. You have called them for a purpose, and the struggle they face is not the end but the beginning of something far greater. Ignite their hearts with fresh faith, unshakable boldness, and the courage to keep pressing forward. Your word declares that you are our refuge and strength, a very present help in times of trouble. Right now, I decree that every burden is being lifted, every heavy yoke destroyed, and every stronghold of the enemy is falling in Jesus' name. Father, I call forth your promises over their lives. No weapon formed against them shall prosper because you are their shield and fortress. Let them see your mighty hand at work. Let them witness miracles and breakthroughs that defy human understanding. Holy Spirit, flood every wilderness season with your presence. We know that you are not silent in the wilderness. You are speaking, moving, and preparing them for a greater purpose. Chosen ones, rise up with renewed strength. Declare that you are chosen, called, and anointed for this moment. The trials are real, but they are temporary. God's promises are eternal and unfailing. Your breakthrough is near, and the victory is yours. Hold on to this truth and walk forward with confidence. Remember, God is with you every step of the way, guiding you, strengthening you, and preparing you for the blessings to come. You are a victor in Christ Jesus, and nothing can take that away. Do not keep this message to yourself. Share it, spread it, and let others be ignited by the truth of God's Word. Your small act of faith, whether through sharing, commenting, or subscribing, can be the spark that lights the fire in someone else's life. Let us walk this journey together, trusting in God's faithfulness, and watch as He moves in ways we never imagined. You are chosen. You are called. Your faith, no matter how small, can move mountains. If this message has blessed you, consider subscribing to support this mission of spreading God's Word far and wide. Each subscription helps share hope and encouragement with those who need it most. Thank you for being part of this journey, for being a light in someone's darkness, and for standing firm in faith. There's a reason you feel different, set apart, as if you're walking through life with a secret only the universe knows. Awaken, chosen ones. Because the most formidable power isn't one that announces itself. It's the one hidden in plain sight. Whispers have circled about those who are gifted, touched by something extraordinary. But here's the twist. Not even you, the chosen one, fully understand the depths of your true identity. It's a riddle locked away by divine intention, preserved until the precise moment you are meant to reveal yourself. Why? Because what lies within you isn't just any kind of strength. It's a hidden force that could reshape everything. If the world knew what you were capable of, chaos might follow. They'd either place you on a pedestal as the next superhero meme or seek to control you, commodify your essence. But here's the beauty. You're hidden in plain sight, underestimated, blending seamlessly into the tapestry of the mundane. And why does this happen? Because your time hasn't come. You're a key piece in a game of cosmic chess, where the most subtle and patient moves win. Until then, you are both the calm before the storm and the unexpected plot twist waiting to disrupt everything. You embody a contradiction, the harmony of humility cloaking unimaginable strength. Those who cross your path may think they've figured you out. They see a calm presence, someone who moves with modesty and simplicity. But they're wrong. Beneath this serene exterior lies an untamed power that could shift the very ground you walk on. Yet you don't unleash it, not out of fear or hesitation, but because you understand the art of timing. Why show your cards when you're playing to win the entire game? The world often equates power with noise, boisterous confidence, and visible domination. But your quiet strength is a storm no one sees coming. This patience, this restraint, is not a lack of ambition. It's a strategy. People may mistake your silence for weakness, but in reality, it's the profound control of someone who doesn't need to prove anything. You're playing the long game, knowing that real power needs no spotlight. And when the time is right and you choose to reveal even a fraction of what you're capable of, the shift will be seismic. Until then, you continue in the shadows, confident that your silence is your most formidable disguise. Every tear you've shed, every moment when you felt the weight of the world bearing down on you was not in vain. Your trials were not random acts of suffering. They were a masterclass in resilience. The universe doesn't test the weak, it refines the chosen. Each setback, each heartbreak, was a fire that burned away the unnecessary, leaving only your purest, strongest parts intact. While others break under pressure, you adapt and rise. You've been forged like steel, heated and hammered until every ounce of your being is sharp and unyielding. This process was never about punishment. It was preparation, an intricate divine plan designed to make you indomitable. Through your challenges, you've learned survival, adaptability, and the kind of strength that only comes from enduring the storm and standing tall when the sky clears. Think back to your darkest moments. While they were painful, they also forced you to dig deep, to find reserves of courage you never knew existed. Without those moments, you wouldn't have the depth, insight, or power that now courses through your veins. The truth is, true greatness requires pressure. Diamonds don't form in the soft embrace of the earth. They are born under crushing forces. Your struggles were a blueprint, crafting you into a force that can not only withstand adversity but thrive in its wake. It's not something you try to do, but you intimidate people. Your presence alone can be unsettling, a quiet reminder that power doesn't always need to announce itself. While others may puff out their chests and seek validation through showy displays of confidence, you move with an understated grace that speaks volumes. It's not that you're aloof or intentionally making others uncomfortable. It's that there's something about your energy that hints at a deeper power, an unseen force that commands respect without asking for it. The truth is, most people are not accustomed to real strength. They're used to the loud, the flashy, the obvious. But your quiet confidence throws them off. It makes them question themselves and the superficial definitions of power they've built their lives around. They may not understand why they feel this way around you, but they sense it. There's more to you than meets the eye. This is why God has chosen to keep your identity hidden. If people were fully aware of what you carry inside, it wouldn't just make them uneasy, it would terrify them. The world isn't ready for your full light yet, and that's by design. Your quiet power creates a natural filter, repelling those who aren't meant to be in your life while attracting those who can handle your intensity. The ones who stay are the ones who can see beyond the surface and appreciate the silent storm that is you. While others are swept up in trends, debates, and distractions, you see through it all. Your vision cuts through the noise like a blade, revealing the motives and truths that most are too busy, or too afraid, to see. This clarity isn't an accident, it's a gift. It's part of why you were chosen, why your identity must remain concealed until the right moment. Most people build their lives on half-truths and comforting illusions, but you see beyond that. You're not seduced by appearances. You're drawn to substance. This ability can be isolating. You might find yourself wondering why others can't see what seems so obvious to you. But this insight comes with its own challenges. If you were to reveal everything you know, it wouldn't just open eyes. It would disrupt lives. The weight of that knowledge could be too much for most to bear. That's why, for now, your understanding stays hidden. You navigate life playing chess while others are stuck playing checkers, moving with an awareness that few can fathom. Your discernment keeps you steps ahead of those who are caught in life's superficial games. You know when people are being sincere and when they're masking their true selves. You see through the charades and understand that most battles fought in the public eye are distractions from the true conflict happening beneath the surface. You operate on a different level, one that doesn't seek applause but focuses on impact. Your path is not something that ordinary people can grasp. Your destiny is so vast that to reveal your true nature prematurely would invite disbelief, jealousy, and attempts to contain you within limited definitions of success. You weren't crafted for mediocrity or bound by conventional standards. Your dreams stretch beyond what most consider possible, not because you're audacious, but because your spirit was designed to soar. Living among those who see only the small picture can be challenging. Your ideas, ambitions, and vision might seem excessive to some or overly idealistic. But their reactions are not a reflection of you. They're a mirror of their own limitations. If you revealed the true magnitude of your destiny too soon, it would invite misunderstanding and worse, attempts to box you in. People project their fears onto what they can't understand, and your brilliance would be no exception. This hidden phase of your life is crucial. It's a time for you to grow without external pressures, to cultivate your abilities without the weight of judgment or expectation. You are meant to rise in your own time, not just for your sake, but to inspire others to break free from their own constraints. When your time comes, your emergence will not just elevate you, it will challenge those around you to expand their own understanding of what is possible. Your way of seeing the world is almost alien to most. You don't just think outside the box, you live there. While others get caught in the noise of daily life, you're already envisioning what's next, questioning the very fabric of reality itself. It's not arrogance, it's how you're wired. Your thoughts are revolutionary, your ideas disruptive, and your insights so deep they could shake foundational beliefs. And yet the world isn't ready. If you shared the full depth of your understanding, it wouldn't just challenge people. It would shatter the carefully built illusions they depend on. Most people aren't equipped to handle the kind of enlightenment you carry. They're comfortable with lies that fit their narrative, unwilling to confront the hard truths that could unsettle their world. That's why, for now, your wisdom stays under wraps. This hidden knowledge is your power, a silent force shaping the way you interact with the world. It's why you don't rush to share your insights or try to convince others of your perspective. You know that your moment will come, and when it does, the truth you reveal will be undeniable. Until then, you walk among others, holding a reality they can't yet see. In a world obsessed with noise, your silence speaks louder than any proclamation. While others feel compelled to broadcast their every move, you choose stillness. It's not because you lack things to say. It's because you understand that real power is felt, not heard. Those who constantly declare their worth are often seeking validation. You, however, don't need to. Your silence carries weight, commanding respect without demanding it. This quiet strength is unsettling to some because it defies the norms. In a society where the loudest voice often wins, your calm confidence is a reminder that power isn't about volume but depth. People may misinterpret your silence as passivity, but in truth, it's a shield, a strategy that keeps unnecessary drama at bay and lets you operate under the radar. You know that words can be forgotten, but the impact of silence lingers. Your silence allows you to move deliberately. Every action is a calculated choice, far more powerful than empty words. When you do speak or act, the world takes notice. Those who are attuned to your energy will understand. For those who don't, they were never meant to. Your silence is not just a lack of noise, it's a statement, an unspoken declaration of self-assurance and mastery. Without even trying, you repel those with shallow motives. There's something about your energy that acts like a mirror, reflecting the true nature of those around you. People with hidden agendas or false pretenses find it difficult to be in your presence because it's as if their masks start to slip. They can't maintain their facade because, deep down, they know you see through it. You don't go out of your way to expose these people. They do it to themselves simply by being near you. This is one of your greatest strengths. It acts as a filter, naturally pushing away those who don't belong in your life and making space for those who can see your worth. You don't waste time with pretenders because they self-select out of your circle. Your authenticity acts like a spotlight, illuminating every false motive and revealing the truth behind interactions. This natural barrier is one of the reasons your identity is kept hidden. It's for your protection. If people with shallow intentions fully grasp the depth of your power, they wouldn't just feel uncomfortable, they'd crumble. And in a world full of pretenders, being genuine is a power few can handle. Your abilities are like a ticking time bomb, full of potential, waiting for the right moment to detonate. You know you possess talents and insights that others would do anything to have, yet you hold back. This isn't fear, it's wisdom. The timing of your revelation is crucial. The world isn't yet ready for the magnitude of what you carry. You may have moments where inspiration strikes, a flash of brilliance that could change everything. But you pause, not out of hesitation, but because you know the value of patience. Revealing your power too soon could lead to misunderstanding, misuse, or resistance from those who aren't prepared for it. God orchestrates these delays, ensuring that when your time comes, the impact is monumental. Each experience, each lesson learned, sharpens your edge. Your potential is not dormant. It's growing, evolving, waiting for the perfect conditions to ignite. The world might be impatient, but you understand that your gifts are meant for something greater, something that will leave a mark that's unforgettable. When that moment comes, you won't just step into your power, you'll explode into it, illuminating paths for others to follow. While many fear solitude, you thrive in it. Isolation isn't a punishment. For you, it's a sanctuary. It's where you find clarity, where your creativity flourishes, and where your most profound realizations come to light. In a world that equates worth with social presence, your comfort with being alone is misunderstood as a weakness, but it's anything but. In solitude, you connect with the deepest parts of yourself, exploring ideas free from the noise and opinions of others. It's where you recharge, strengthen your resolve, and prepare for what's next. This time apart is vital, allowing you to cultivate insights and skills that most can't even comprehend because they are too busy seeking validation. Your isolation is where your true strength lies. It's where you learn to trust yourself fully. God has kept you apart from the chaos for a reason. This time allows you to build an unshakable foundation. When you step back into the world, you bring with you a well of wisdom that sets you apart. People might see your solitude as a disadvantage, but it's the breeding ground for your greatest strengths. It's in these quiet moments that you gather the power that will one day inspire and uplift those around you. Your identity is hidden not just for your growth, but for your protection. There are adversaries you haven't yet encountered, individuals and forces that would do anything to undermine your progress if they knew the truth. Your gifts, your power, they're formidable enough to inspire envy, fear, and attempts at control. God's shielding is no accident. It's a strategic move. By keeping your true nature under wraps, you're granted the time and space to strengthen yourself without interference. This cloak of invisibility allows you to move freely, honing your skills and preparing for the inevitable battles to come. When those adversaries finally reveal themselves, you will be more than ready to face them. Your current phase of invisibility isn't weakness, it's preparation. You're not just hidden, you're fortified. This time is an opportunity to gather your strength so that when you do step into the light, you're not only ready, but unstoppable. Your emergence will be a force that can't be ignored, proving that the quietest moments often birth the strongest warriors. You are not a weapon to be wielded by just anyone. Your potential is too great, too impactful to be controlled or misused. Unlike those who seek power for selfish gains, your gifts are reserved for a higher calling. They are meant to challenge the status quo, disrupt norms, and spark authentic change. God's careful shielding ensures that your gifts are nurtured, not squandered. You aren't here to engage in trivial pursuits. You are being prepared for monumental tasks that require a unique kind of strength and insight. This time of waiting is an incubation period where you gain the discernment needed to navigate the complexities of your destiny. When the time comes, you won't just play the game. You'll redefine it. Your purpose will be clear, and your impact profound. You are not meant to be part of the noise, but a catalyst for transformation. Your journey isn't defined by survival, but by the indelible mark you are destined to leave. Your existence is a testament to the extraordinary potential within you. Every struggle you have faced, every moment wrapped in silence, and every instance of solitude has been more than mere experiences. They have been your crucible. These moments were not just tests. They were divine preparations, each refining you, honing your character, and carving out a vessel capable of holding a power few can fathom. Understand that the quiet times, when life seemed to move slower and the world's noise seemed to fade, were not moments of absence, but moments of profound growth. In those silent stretches you gathered wisdom, patience, and resilience that would become the foundation for your greatest triumphs. When your moment arrives, it won't come with fanfare or be accompanied by a declaration. It will be a quiet unveiling, profound yet natural, and the world will finally understand that the greatest forces are those hidden until the perfect moment to rise. This will be the moment where your struggles will make sense, your silence will be understood, and your solitude will prove its worth. And when that day comes, the world will finally understand that the greatest forces are often the ones hidden until the perfect moment to rise. As you journey towards this destiny, remember that every step, every setback, and every triumph has a purpose. You are not just surviving, you are preparing. And when you finally stand in your full light, the world will see that your existence was never ordinary, but always extraordinary. If this message resonated with you and inspired yourself, consider joining us on this journey of discovery and empowerment. Hit that subscribe button and be part of this community. Your support means everything, helping us bring more value content. Thank you for being here, and get ready for the moment when your light shines brightest. Stop scrolling for just a moment. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to consider a powerful possibility. That you're here, right now, feeling the deep ache of separation from someone you thought would always be close. Your mom. Perhaps you've wrestled with the feeling that something precious has been torn from you, that a bond you once relied upon seems distant or unreachable. And yet, what if this distance, this undeniable gap, is not random? What if it is part of a divine design, carefully woven into the fabric of your life, not as a punishment, but as a path to something greater? The pain you carry, the isolation that weighs on your heart, it may not be as meaningless as it feels in your darkest moments. Every tear you've shed, every moment of loneliness, could be a refining fire, sent not to break you down but to shape you for a unique purpose that no one else can fulfill. God may have set you apart, chosen you for something so powerful that it requires a strength and resilience forged only through difficulty. This isn't the path everyone else walks, and maybe it isn't supposed to be. Have you ever considered that every hardship, every painful memory, has been like stepping stones leading you toward a destiny that only God can fully see? When we feel abandoned or misunderstood, it's natural to wonder if there's any purpose in it all. But what if these very struggles are the groundwork for a future that requires a unique type of strength, a strength few can understand, because few have walked this same path? Since childhood, you may have felt a unique distance, a chasm between you and your mother, something so deep, it often seemed unbridgeable. While others around you shared moments of warmth and comfort with their families, perhaps you found yourself standing on the outside, feeling the ache of loneliness and questioning why you felt so alone. It's a feeling that is difficult to explain and even harder to carry, making you wonder if you are somehow unworthy or undeserving of love and acceptance. But what if this distance, this feeling of separation, was never a sign of abandonment or rejection? What if it was, instead, an indication of something profound, a signal that God has chosen you for a special purpose that requires a path unlike any other? This isn't a punishment. It's preparation. God is not keeping you away from love. He's carving out space for a love far beyond human understanding. He's stripping away earthly distractions to prepare you to fully receive His purpose. Through the absence, He speaks with clarity, drawing you closer to Him. From a young age, you may have sensed that your path was different, marked by a unique calling that set you apart from others. While many around you found their strength and identity within the warmth of family bonds, you felt a deeper pull, a divine nudge guiding you to lean solely on God. This sense of separation may have felt isolating at times, but it was never a mark of weakness or inadequacy. Instead, it was God's way of building a strength in you that could only come through solitude and dependence on Him alone. Think of this isolation as a training ground, much like that of a warrior being prepared for a mission that requires focus, resilience, and unbreakable faith. In solitude, a warrior is stripped of comforts, left with only the essentials, so that strength and skill can be honed without distraction. In the same way, God has allowed this space of separation in your life, removing certain attachments so that you can rely fully on Him. He is stripping away any dependencies that might hinder your calling, ensuring that your faith is anchored firmly in Him. Through this experience, God is teaching you resilience, a deep inner strength that does not waver under pressure. Each moment of solitude becomes a lesson, each challenge a stepping stone, building within you the character and endurance necessary for the higher purpose He has in store. This process may feel isolating, but it is a sacred preparation, a refining season where God is shaping you to stand strong, fully reliant on His guidance and grace. You are being prepared for something extraordinary, something that requires you to walk a path less traveled. God is calling you to trust Him deeply, to find your identity, your strength, and your purpose in Him alone. In this space of separation, He is forming you into someone who can withstand trials, rise above challenges, and fulfill a calling that goes beyond the ordinary. This path may be different, but it is designed with divine intention, preparing you to step into a life marked by purpose and guided by His unfailing hand. The love you've longed for, the family connection you may have envied in others. It's not that God ignored your need. He saw it and chose to fill it Himself with a love that is perfect, unchanging, and unfailing. He needed you free from the limitations of earthly attachment because your calling requires a different kind of strength. Others may find comfort in constant affirmation, but you've been sustained by something deeper, the unshakable power of God's love. Picture yourself on a battlefield, a soldier trained in isolation for a war you may not have fully understood. While others leaned on their mothers, you learned to fight alone. In the emptiness left by human absence, you discovered a divine fullness, A love that doesn't fade, a connection that doesn't break. Every tear, every sleepless night spent questioning your worth. These were all part of a grander plan to prepare you for a strength and resilience others cannot match. Your mother's distance, her absence, was not an accident. Each struggle, each wordless conflict, each cold silence, they were tools, divine chisels breaking away the unnecessary to reveal the masterpiece within. You were not just hurt, you were sharpened. Every argument, every cutting remark, every emotional sabotage was a lesson in standing firm. Through these challenges, God was cultivating within you a resilience that runs deep. He was teaching you not to be easily swayed, preparing you to hold steadfastly to your identity and purpose, even when faced with opposition. The adversity wasn't meant to crush you, but to build within you an unwavering strength and a profound sense of self that could only emerge through the fire. In every hurt, there was a refining, a way to transform the pain into power, the wounds into wisdom, and to reveal the strength God always saw in you. The pain you felt wasn't meant to define you, but to refine you. Your struggles with your mother weren't just personal. They were cosmic clashes, battles between who you are called to be and who the world would have you remain. Perhaps you were wounded by criticism that seemed relentless, by manipulations that twisted your heart, by coldness that left you questioning your worth. These were not random hardships. They were intentional wounds meant to prepare you for a purpose far beyond the ordinary. Through these wounds, God has forged an armor around you. Others may falter under the weight of life's pressures, but you have already endured the furnace's heat, and it has only made you stronger. This is why your path has been different, harder. You were never meant to lean on human validation. God needed you to seek your worth in Him alone. Your identity isn't tied to earthly approval, but is rooted in the Creator who shaped you with divine purpose. The strained words, the unspoken coldness, they were chisels that shaped you, removing parts that would hinder your calling. Through the pain, God was strengthening you, making you resilient, unbreakable. You may have felt abandoned, but in reality, God was present, molding you into a vessel for His work. Every tear, every lonely moment served as a sacred tool, refining you into who you were meant to be. Perhaps you've wondered, why? Why did the relationship with your mother seem so fraught with pain, as if it was destined to leave a lasting ache? The answer, though complex in feeling, is both simple and profound. God never intended for your sense of self, your identity, to be shaped by her approval or acceptance. Her role in your life, with all its imperfections and limitations, was never meant to be the foundation of your worth or the lens through which you see yourself. Instead, her limitations were a divine sign, a reminder of the insufficiency of earthly relationships and of the way human bonds can fall short. Each moment of distance, each unmet need, was gently guiding you toward something far greater, toward Him. God used the limitations in your relationship with your mother to reveal a powerful truth. Human connections, as meaningful as they are, cannot be the ultimate source of our identity or worth. While others may have found their confidence or validation within family bonds, God had a different path in mind for you. He allowed this distance not as punishment, but as preparation, gently leading you to discover that your true value comes from Him alone. He wanted you to know that your identity is firmly rooted in His love, a love that is constant, complete, and unfailing. In those moments when you sought validation from her and were met with disappointment, God was drawing you closer, teaching you to find your security and purpose in Him. This separation is not a mark of failure or loss. It is a sacred invitation to be grounded in something more lasting than any human relationship. God has called you to a unique journey, one that begins with Him and finds its fulfillment in His purpose for your life. Perhaps you've wondered, why? Why did the relationship with your mother seem so fraught with pain, as if it was destined to leave a lasting ache? The answer, though complex in feeling, is both simple and profound. God never intended for your sense of self, your identity, to be shaped by her approval or acceptance. Her role in your life, with all its imperfections and limitations, was never meant to be the foundation of your worth or the lens through which you see yourself. Instead, her limitations were a divine sign, a reminder of the insufficiency of earthly relationships and of the way human bonds can fall short. Each moment of distance, each unmet need, was gently guiding you toward something far greater, toward Him. God used the limitations in your relationship with your mother to reveal a powerful truth. Human connections, as meaningful as they are, cannot be the ultimate source of our identity or worth. While others may have found their confidence or validation within family bonds, God had a different path in mind for you. He allowed this distance not as punishment, but as preparation, gently leading you to discover that your true value comes from Him alone. He wanted you to know that your identity is firmly rooted in His love, a love that is constant, complete, and unfailing. In those moments when you sought validation from her and were met with disappointment, God was drawing you closer, teaching you to find your security and purpose in Him. This separation is not a mark of failure or loss. It is a sacred invitation to be grounded in something more lasting than any human relationship. God has called you to a unique journey, one that begins with Him and finds its fulfillment in His purpose for your life. This separation, this divine pruning, is God's way of preparing you for the next level. It may feel like isolation, but it's the sacred ground where transformation happens. God has stripped away earthly ties that once defined you, removing anything that could limit the purpose He has in mind for you. Every moment of separation, every tear, is a tool in God's hands, shaping you into a vessel strong enough to carry His purpose. Think of yourself as metal, heated and hammered to become unbreakable. This process is not punishment, it's refinement, burning away vulnerabilities that could hinder your mission. The relationships that once defined you, that may have even limited you, are being removed. You are being promoted to a higher calling that demands more from you than you could ever have imagined. In the spaces left by human absence, God's presence becomes undeniable and profoundly comforting. Where earthly love may have faltered, God's love fills every empty corner, reaching into the depths of your heart in ways no human connection ever could. The voids left by relationships that may have fallen short were never meant to remain empty. They are intentional spaces designed for God to fill, to demonstrate that His love alone is all-encompassing and sufficient to meet your every need. God has not allowed this separation or distance to harm you, but has instead used it as an invitation to draw you nearer to Him. The limitations of your earthly mother, her inability to meet every emotional or spiritual need, are not reflections of any inadequacy in you. Rather, they are gentle reminders that your deepest needs were always meant to be fulfilled by your Heavenly Father. The love you seek, the security you crave, and the understanding that often feels elusive are all perfectly found in Him. This separation highlights a sacred truth, that God's role in your life is unique and irreplaceable. Where human relationships are bound by limitations and imperfections, God's love remains unwavering, endlessly patient, and without condition. Through this experience, He is showing you that your worth and identity are rooted in Him, not in the validation or understanding of others. In every space where human love could not reach, God's presence grows stronger, filling your life with a love that heals, sustains, and affirms your true value. He is drawing you closer, teaching you to depend on Him completely, and showing you that He alone can fulfill the desires of your heart in ways that are eternal, pure, and boundless. God wanted your dependence to be on Him alone, not diluted by human affections. Through every tear, every moment of silence, He was building in you a spiritual resilience, a strength that is anchored in an unshakable foundation. This separation isn't a punishment or a mark of failure. It's a divine calling to rely on God alone. You are chosen, set apart, refined through every moment of loneliness and heartache, This separation is proof of your calling. It's a divine preparation, a sacred crucible where God has been molding you into the vessel He needs. Your pain isn't in vain. It's a testimony, a witness to the work God is doing within you. Embrace this truth. Walk boldly in the knowledge that your story is part of a grand design. Let your journey, your growth, be a light for others who feel the weight of separation. In every hardship, trust that God's plan is perfect, that He is using every moment to shape you for a purpose beyond what you can see. Step forward with courage, knowing that you are not defined by the wounds of the past, but by the divine calling that marks your life.
Not everyone is chosen, and it's not something you can force or earn. It's a calling, a sacred invitation from the universe that resonates with your soul from the moment you enter this world. Perhaps you've always felt different, as if you don't quite belong within the boundaries society sets for you. You've probably questioned the meaning of your existence or wondered why you seem to sense and feel things that others overlook. If you've experienced this, then it's possible that you are one of the few who have been called for a higher purpose. This video is not for everyone. If you're reading this and feel a pull deep within your spirit, I encourage you to stay with me until the end. If you're meant to hear this, you'll find yourself drawn in, unable to turn away. However, if you are not, you'll naturally feel disinterest and move on. But for those who remain, there is something significant I must share, an understanding that can transform your journey. Being chosen doesn't mean living an easy life, quite the opposite. It means carrying a profound spiritual responsibility, one that will often challenge you to your very core. Yet with these challenges come remarkable gifts, spiritual abilities that set you apart from the rest of the world. These gifts are not just ordinary talents, but sacred tools granted to you by the universe to fulfill your divine mission. The journey of the chosen one is marked by an unwavering connection to something greater, something beyond the material world. In this exploration, we'll dive deep into the 7 spiritual gifts that only the chosen ones possess. Each gift is a marker, a clue that reveals your true nature and purpose in this lifetime. You may already sense these gifts within you, even if you haven't fully understood their significance. As we go through each one, reflect on your own experiences and ask yourself, is this me? By the end, you will have clarity, a deep understanding of the path laid before you. Before we delve into these spiritual gifts, it's important to acknowledge something fundamental. Being chosen is not about ego or feeling superior to others. It's about recognizing that your life, your journey, is in service to a greater cause. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." This sentiment rings especially true for those who are chosen. Chosen ones are not made in comfort. They are forged through hardship. The challenges you've faced, the moments of doubt and confusion, are not random. They are all part of a larger spiritual awakening, a process that brings you closer to your true self. The universe has a way of preparing those it calls, and often this preparation comes in the form of tests of faith, endurance, and inner strength. As you navigate this path, you may feel isolated or misunderstood. You might wonder why others can't see the things you see or feel the energies you feel. But know this, you are not alone. Every obstacle, every challenge is pushing you toward the discovery of your spiritual gifts. These gifts are unique and powerful, meant to guide not only your journey, but also the journeys of those around you. Your life is not just about your own growth. It is about being a beacon of light, a guide for others who are lost or in need of spiritual awakening. So, without further delay, let us begin our exploration of the 7 spiritual gifts that distinguish the chosen ones from the rest of the world. The first and foundational gift of the chosen ones is awareness. This isn't just ordinary awareness of your surroundings or basic perception of life. It is an extraordinary spiritual awareness, a heightened sense that allows you to perceive the reality beyond what is immediately visible. From a young age, you may have sensed that you see the world differently. Perhaps you've walked into a room and felt the energy before anyone said a word. You've likely noticed subtle shifts in people's moods or sensed when something was wrong, even though everything seemed perfectly fine on the surface. This is your spiritual awareness at work. It's more than being observant. It's about being in tune with the unseen forces that govern this world. Chosen ones are gifted with the ability to sense energy, whether it's the energy of a person, a place, or a situation. You can perceive the undercurrents of emotions and intentions, often picking up on things that others completely miss. This gift can be both a blessing and a challenge. On one hand, it allows you to navigate life with a level of insight and precision that others do not possess. On the other hand, it can be overwhelming, especially when you are bombarded by negative or chaotic energies. Many chosen ones struggle with this gift early on, dismissing their feelings as irrational or overly sensitive. But let me assure you, your awareness is real, and it is a powerful tool for navigating this spiritual battlefield we call life. The more you embrace it, the stronger it becomes. One of the profound aspects of this gift is that it allows you not only to perceive, but also to influence the energy around you. When you enter a chaotic environment, your very presence can bring calm. When you are around negative people, they may unconsciously shift toward positivity, simply because of the light you carry within you. This ability to affect energy is one of the most powerful aspects of the gift of awareness. But with great power comes great responsibility. Being aware means you cannot turn a blind eye to what you perceive. If you sense negativity, dishonesty, or danger, you are called to act, whether that means protecting yourself, guiding others, or simply removing yourself from a harmful situation. This gift is not meant to be passive. It is a tool for action, for navigating the complexities of both the physical and spiritual worlds. The second spiritual gift that distinguishes the chosen ones is intuition. While intuition is something everyone experiences to some degree, the intuition of a chosen one is far more profound. It's not just a basic gut feeling, it's a deep, unwavering knowing, a sense that consistently guides you, even when logic and reason cannot explain it. This inner knowing is often referred to as the voice of the soul, and it is a direct connection to the divine. From a young age, you may have noticed that you simply knew things without any logical explanation. You might have predicted events before they happened, or sensed the outcome of a situation long before it unfolded. This gift does not rely on external validation or evidence. It is a deep, spiritual insight that comes from within. Chosen ones often find themselves in situations where their intuition clashes with what seems rational or logical. You might feel a strong pull toward a certain path, even though it makes no sense to those around you, or you may have a deep sense that you should avoid a certain person or situation, even though everything appears fine on the surface. Trusting your intuition is one of the most important lessons you will learn as a chosen one. Albert Einstein once said, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant." For chosen ones, this couldn't be more accurate. Your intuition is not something to be used occasionally or as a last resort. It is your primary guide in life, the compass that consistently points you toward your true path. The rational mind has its place, but it is your intuition that knows the direction your soul needs to take. One of the challenges that come with this gift is learning to trust it, especially in a world that often demands proof and explanations for everything. You may find yourself second-guessing your intuition, wondering if you're just imagining things. But the more you listen to it, the stronger it becomes. Intuition is like a muscle. It grows with use, becoming more refined and accurate over time. As your intuition strengthens, you will begin to notice moments of synchronicity, those perfect alignments in life that seem too good to be mere coincidence. Perhaps you'll meet the right person at exactly the right time, or an opportunity will present itself just when you need it. These moments are not random. They are the universe responding to your intuitive guidance, helping you align with your higher purpose. The third spiritual gift of the chosen ones is the gift of healing. When we think of healing, we often imagine physical cures, doctors and medicine. But for chosen ones, healing goes far beyond the physical. It involves the transformation of energy, healing the emotional, spiritual, and energetic bodies of those around you. Chosen ones often possess a natural ability to heal others, even if they don't fully realize it. Your presence alone can have a calming, soothing effect on those who are in pain or distress. People may be drawn to you without knowing why, feeling better after simply talking to you. This is because you are a conduit for divine healing energy. Your vibration is higher, and it tends to lift others out of their emotional or spiritual suffering. From a young age, you may have noticed that people often confide in you or seek your advice, even though you may not always have the answers. Your presence provides comfort, and you are naturally attuned to the emotions and energies of those around you. This is your gift of healing at work. There are many ways in which this gift can manifest. Some chosen ones are drawn to healing professions like nursing, counseling, or energy work, such as Reiki or acupuncture. Others may heal through their art, music, or writing. No matter the form it takes, your gift is about transforming the energy around you. Whether through words, actions, or simply your presence, you help others release stuck or negative energy, allowing for emotional, spiritual, or even physical healing. One of the key aspects of this gift is empathy. You don't just understand someone's pain, you feel it as if it were your own. This deep level of empathy allows you to offer compassion and support that goes beyond mere words. But it also comes with its own challenges. Because you absorb so much of the energy around you, it's easy to become overwhelmed or drained, especially when you are constantly surrounded by people in need. Many chosen ones struggle with this aspect of their gift, often retreating from social situations or needing time alone to recharge. This isn't because you're antisocial, it's because your energy field is constantly working to balance the energies of others. To fully embrace your gift of healing, it's essential to learn how to protect your own energy and establish boundaries. Practices like meditation, grounding exercises, and spending time in nature are crucial for keeping your energy in balance. But healing is not just about others, it's also about healing yourself. As a chosen one, you may find that you have an incredible ability to recover from emotional and physical setbacks more quickly than others. This is because you are connected to the source of all healing energy, the divine. Your body and soul know how to tap into this energy even when you don't consciously realize it. However, healing also comes with great responsibility. Not everyone is ready to be healed, and it's important to recognize that you cannot force healing upon someone who is not open to it. Your role is to offer space for healing to occur, but you must allow others to take their own steps on the journey. This is where discernment becomes essential, and we'll explore that next. The fourth spiritual gift that chosen ones possess is spiritual discernment, the ability to see through illusions and recognize the deeper truth in all situations. In a world filled with distractions, false appearances, and deception, Discernment is one of the most important tools a chosen one can have. While many people are easily misled by surface-level appearances or drawn in by false promises, chosen ones can see through these illusions. You have a heightened sense of what is real and what is not, allowing you to navigate a world that often tries to obscure the truth. This gift is not about being skeptical or distrusting of everyone and everything. It's about having a deep spiritual insight that allows you to sense when something isn't as it seems. Whether it's a person whose intentions are not pure, or a situation that looks perfect on the surface but feels off energetically, your gift of discernment alerts you to the truth beneath the surface. You may have experienced this gift in subtle ways, perhaps in a conversation where someone is saying all the right things, but you sense that their energy is not aligned with their words. Or you might enter a seemingly positive environment but feel an underlying tension or negativity that others are oblivious to. This is your spiritual discernment at work, helping you navigate the spiritual and physical worlds with clarity. One of the greatest challenges with this gift is learning to trust it, especially when it contradicts what others are saying or what seems logical. You may find yourself questioning whether you're being paranoid or overly cautious, but it's important to remember that your discernment is a divine gift. It is meant to protect you and guide you, even when it goes against the opinions or beliefs of those around you. Discernment also plays a crucial role in your relationships. While others may be drawn to people based on surface qualities, you can see beyond the facade. You recognize the energy and intentions of those around you, even if they are not aware of it themselves. This can lead to deep, authentic connections with those who are aligned with your higher purpose. However, it can also be challenging when you see through the pretenses of others who are not living in alignment with their true selves. But discernment isn't just about identifying what's wrong, it's also about recognizing what is right. You have the ability to sense when something is truly aligned with your spiritual path, whether it's a relationship, an opportunity, or a decision. This gift allows you to move through life with confidence, knowing that you are making choices based on spiritual truth rather than deception. Spiritual discernment also helps you avoid spiritual traps. As a chosen one, you will encounter many distractions and temptations designed to lead you off your path. These distractions can come in the form of toxic relationships, false teachings, or even inner doubts. But your gift of discernment acts as a spiritual alarm system, alerting you when something is not aligned with your higher purpose. With this gift, however, comes great responsibility. Discernment is not meant to lead you into judgment or condemnation of others. It's not about seeing the flaws in everything and everyone around you. Instead, it's about protecting your spirit and staying true to your path. When used correctly, discernment allows you to walk through life with clarity and purpose, knowing that you are aligned with your soul's mission. The fifth gift is perhaps one of the most mysterious, the gift of prophecy. Chosen ones often possess the ability to see beyond the present moment, gaining insight into future events or sensing shifts in the energetic landscape before they manifest in the physical world. This gift doesn't always present itself in dramatic ways. It may come in subtle forms, such as dreams, flashes of insight, or a deep sense of knowing about what is to come. You may experience moments of déjà vu or feel as though you have already lived through certain experiences. These are signs that your gift of prophecy is active. As a chosen one with this gift, you are attuned to the flow of time in a way that others are not. You may have vivid dreams that later come true, or you might sense the outcome of a situation long before it unfolds. This inner knowing isn't just intuition. It is a direct insight into the future, granted to you by the divine. However, Prophecy is not about controlling or predicting the future in a rigid sense. The future is fluid, and what you see or sense may be one of many potential outcomes. Your gift is not meant to dictate the future, but to help you and others prepare for what may come. Prophetic insights are often given to guide you on your spiritual path, helping you align with your soul's purpose. Many chosen ones experience this gift through dreams or visions. You might receive symbolic messages or literal glimpses of future events while you sleep. At other times, prophecy may manifest as a flash of insight or a sudden understanding of a situation that bypasses logic and reason. One of the most challenging aspects of this gift is learning how to interpret the messages you receive. The future is not always set in stone, and the visions or feelings you experience may be metaphors or potential outcomes rather than concrete predictions. This is why it's essential to approach your gift of prophecy with humility and discernment. Another challenge is learning how to share your prophetic insights with others. Not everyone is ready to hear the truth about the future, especially if it involves difficult or uncomfortable information. Sometimes, the best way to share a prophetic insight is through gentle guidance rather than direct statements. This allows the person to come to their own understanding in their own time. Throughout history, prophets have played a significant role in guiding humanity. From biblical prophets to modern spiritual leaders, these individuals used their gift of prophecy to warn, guide, and inspire others. As a chosen one, you may not see yourself as a prophet in the traditional sense, but your gift is no less significant. You are being shown the future because you have the spiritual maturity to handle this knowledge and use it wisely. Prophecy also allows you to understand the larger cycles of life. You may sense when a major life phase is beginning or ending, knowing when a period of growth or challenge is about to start. This insight helps you prepare mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for what lies ahead, allowing you to navigate life's transitions with grace and clarity. But with this gift comes the responsibility of trusting the divine guidance you receive. The future is not always easy to face, especially when it involves challenges or difficult situations. However, your gift is not meant to cause fear or anxiety. It is meant to offer guidance, protection, and preparation. Trust that the visions you receive are given to you for a reason, and that the universe will support you as you navigate what lies ahead. The sixth spiritual gift of the chosen ones is empathy, the ability to feel the emotions, thoughts, and energies of others as if they were your own. Empathy is not just about understanding how someone feels on an intellectual level. It's about actually experiencing their emotions in a deeply personal and energetic way. As a chosen one, you are an open channel for the energies around you. You can sense the emotional climate of a room the moment you walk in, absorbing the emotions of those present, whether they are positive or negative. This gift allows you to connect with others on a profound level, offering them comfort, guidance, and understanding when they need it most. One of the most powerful aspects of empathy is your ability to act as an emotional mirror. When people are around you, they often feel safe to express emotions they've been hiding, even from themselves. This is because your presence reflects back their true emotional state, allowing them to release what they've been holding inside. Many chosen ones find that people are naturally drawn to them, seeking support and comfort even if they don't know why. This is because your energy offers a non-judgmental space for others to be themselves, which is incredibly healing for those who are struggling emotionally or spiritually. However, this gift can also be overwhelming. Because you feel other people's emotions so intensely, it's easy to lose track of what emotions are yours and what belongs to someone else. You might walk away from a conversation feeling drained or anxious, only to realize later that those feelings weren't even your own. Learning to differentiate between your own energy and the energy of others is one of the biggest challenges that chosen ones face with this gift. If not managed properly, empathy can lead to emotional exhaustion or even physical illness. That's why it's essential to establish strong energetic boundaries and practice regular grounding techniques to keep your energy balanced. Empathy is one of the most beautiful and powerful gifts because it allows you to offer deep compassion to those in need. You don't just understand someone's pain from a distance, you feel it. This makes you an incredibly effective healer, counselor, and guide, as your empathy allows you to speak directly to someone's soul. At the same time, empathy gives you insight into what others truly need. You can sense when someone needs space, when they need comfort, or when they need to be pushed out of their comfort zone. This ability to tune into the emotional undercurrents of others makes you a natural leader and healer, capable of guiding people through difficult emotional terrain. But with great empathy comes the need for strong boundaries. While you may feel a strong desire to help everyone who comes to you, it's important to recognize that some people may try to use your empathy for their own benefit. There are those who, whether consciously or not, drain your energy because they are unwilling to deal with their own emotions. This is why boundaries are so crucial for chosen ones with the gift of empathy. Another important lesson with this gift is knowing when to step back. As much as you may want to help everyone, sometimes the most loving thing you can do is allow someone to face their emotions on their own. You cannot heal everyone, and it's not your responsibility to carry the emotional weight of the world. By setting healthy boundaries, grounding yourself regularly, and using your gift with wisdom, you can harness the gift of empathy to transform the lives of those around you, and ultimately, to fulfill your higher purpose as a chosen one. The seventh and final spiritual gift of the chosen ones is the gift of divine connection, a direct line of communication with the spiritual realm. This gift grants you access to guidance, wisdom, and insight from higher beings, whether through intuition, signs, dreams, or direct messages from your spirit guides or higher self. If you've ever felt like you're being guided by a force greater than yourself, if you've received inexplicable signs at just the right moment, or if you've experienced moments of profound clarity or peace in the midst of chaos, you are likely experiencing your gift of divine connection. This connection is not something that comes and goes. It is a constant, unwavering bond between you and the divine. Chosen ones are often in constant communication with the spiritual realm, receiving messages and guidance even when they are not consciously aware of it. The gift of divine connection allows you to tap into the universal consciousness, the infinite wisdom of the cosmos. You might receive answers to questions that have been troubling you, not through intellectual reasoning, but through sudden clarity that feels as though it was placed into your mind from above. You might also experience moments of deep peace or certainty, even in the face of difficult circumstances. This is the divine working through you, offering you the guidance you need to continue on your path. Many chosen ones also receive messages through their dreams or meditation. These messages might come in the form of symbols, visions, or direct communications from spiritual beings. Sometimes the messages are subtle, requiring interpretation, while other times they are clear and unmistakable. In either case, the gift of divine connection ensures that you are never walking your path alone. You are always supported, always guided, and always loved by the divine forces that watch over you. One of the most important aspects of this gift is learning to trust it. The guidance you receive from the divine may not always make sense immediately, and it may lead you in directions that seem challenging or confusing at first. But as a chosen one, you are being asked to trust in the process, knowing that the divine sees the bigger picture. Your gift of divine connection also makes you a channel for divine wisdom, not just for yourself, but for others as well. People may come to you for advice or spiritual guidance, drawn to the light and wisdom that you carry. Even if you don't always know the right words to say, when you are tapped into this divine connection, the words flow through you naturally. This is because you are serving as a vessel for divine messages, offering others the guidance they need. Learning to discern between your own thoughts and the messages coming from the divine is crucial in fully harnessing this gift. Divine messages often come with a sense of peace, clarity, and certainty, even if they challenge you. Your own thoughts, on the other hand, may be clouded with doubt, fear, or confusion. The more you practice, the better you will become at distinguishing between the two. This connection also allows you to experience synchronicities, those moments when events, people, or opportunities align perfectly with your path. These are not coincidences. They are signs from the universe that you are on the right track. When you are living in alignment with your divine connection, you'll notice that life begins to flow more smoothly. Things fall into place without much effort, and the right opportunities come to you at the perfect time. However, this gift also comes with its own challenges. Being so connected to the divine can sometimes feel isolating. You may feel misunderstood by those around you who don't share the same level of spiritual awareness. You might also experience moments of doubt, wondering whether the guidance you're receiving is real or just your imagination. But rest assured, chosen one, your connection is real. The more you trust it, the stronger it becomes. To strengthen this gift, it's important to maintain regular spiritual practices, such as meditation, prayer, or quiet reflection. These practices help you stay connected to the divine and open to receiving guidance. They also allow you to deepen your relationship with your spirit guides, angels, or other spiritual beings who are supporting you on your journey. Chosen one, you now know the 7 spiritual gifts that are given only to those who are called for a higher purpose. These gifts, awareness, intuition, healing, discernment, prophecy, empathy, and divine connection, are not random abilities. They are sacred tools given to you to help you fulfill your mission in this lifetime. Each gift plays a vital role in guiding you on your spiritual path, helping you navigate the complexities of life and serve others with wisdom and compassion. But remember, with great gifts come great responsibilities. These abilities are not meant to be used selfishly or to elevate yourself above others. Instead, they are meant to be used in service, to guide, heal, and uplift those who cross your path. By embracing your gifts, you step into your true role as a chosen one, living a life of purpose, spiritual alignment, and divine service. Your journey is unique, and these gifts are your companions along the way. Trust in them, nurture them, and allow them to guide you toward the fulfillment of your highest destiny. The world needs you, chosen one. Now, more than ever, it needs the light, wisdom, and healing that only you can offer. Thank you for being part of this sacred journey and for allowing me to share this message with you. If you found this video helpful, inspiring, or enlightening, please consider subscribing to the channel and joining this growing community of souls on the path to spiritual awakening. Together, we can illuminate the world with love and truth. Thank you, and may your path be ever blessed. What I'm about to share with you is not just another message. It is a profound truth that transcends the ordinary, a call for the few who are prepared to receive it. This is not for everyone. In fact, only those who feel the stirring of their soul will truly understand what follows. So if you feel nothing, that's perfectly fine. We are all on different parts of our journey, and not everyone is ready for the same revelations at the same time. But if something within you is restless, if you sense a quiet whisper calling your name from within your spirit, then perhaps this message is meant for you. Stay with me, because every word that follows was crafted with you in mind. There are moments when life places us at a crossroads where we either retreat into fear or step forward into our destiny. This is one of those moments. Have you ever wondered why your life seems to be filled with battles, challenges and struggles that seem far beyond what others face? You look around and it appears as though others walk an easier path, free from the turmoil you constantly encounter. You felt alone, misunderstood, as if no one else could possibly comprehend the depth of what you're going through. Here's a truth that might be difficult to accept, but it will set your soul on fire once you grasp it. You have been chosen. You were never meant to blend into the crowd or walk an easy, unremarkable path. If you found yourself surrounded by more battles than most, it's because you've been marked for something greater. The struggles you face are not a punishment. They are the flames that will forge you into the person capable of fulfilling your divine purpose. God has chosen you for a mission far beyond the ordinary, and because of this, the trials you endure are greater, but so too is the strength you carry within. You are not like everyone else. The enemy knows this and fears what you are destined to become, which is why your obstacles often seem overwhelming. But those obstacles are the very proof of your calling. Being chosen isn't about an easy life filled with comforts. It's quite the opposite. When you are chosen, your battles are more intense and your path is less clear. Yet this path was never meant to be easy. It was meant to reveal your power. There is a strength inside you that you've only begun to understand. Think about it. How many times have you been on the verge of giving up? How many times have you looked at your circumstances and thought, why me? Why is this happening to me? You are not alone in feeling that weight. Many who are chosen feel the exact same burden. The reason the enemy comes after you so fiercely is because he knows what you carry. He fears what will happen when you awaken to your true identity and divine purpose. If you ever fully realize the power that God has placed inside you, nothing would be able to stop you. But here's the secret the enemy doesn't want you to know. God has already given you everything you need to win. You are not walking this path alone. God has prepared you for every battle, and He has equipped you with armor that is far more powerful than anything the enemy can throw at you. This armor is not just physical protection, it is spiritual, celestial, and tailor-made for you. It has been designed to cover you in every battle, to guard you against the fiercest attacks, and to ensure that you come out victorious. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine standing on a battlefield. The wind is howling, arrows are flying through the air, and enemies are closing in from all directions. But you are not afraid. Why? Because you are not standing there unprotected. You are clothed in a brilliant, impenetrable armor, a shield of light, a beacon of divine power that surrounds you. This armor shines so brightly that your enemies tremble at the sight of you. This is not a fantasy. This is the armor of God, and every piece of it has a specific role to play in your spiritual protection. Let's start with the belt of truth. Why does this matter? In a soldier's armor, the belt is essential. It holds the entire armor in place. Without it, everything falls apart. You can have the strongest armor, but if it's not held together properly, it becomes useless, and you become vulnerable. In the same way, Truth is what holds your spiritual armor together. It is the foundation of your defense. Without truth, everything else, your faith, your righteousness, your peace, becomes shaky and vulnerable to attack. But this truth is not just any truth. It is not a relative truth that changes with circumstances or opinions. No, this is eternal truth, the unchanging truth that comes from God alone. The truth that you are a beloved child of God, chosen for a higher purpose. The truth that nothing, absolutely nothing, can separate you from His love. When you wear the belt of truth, you are declaring to the enemy and the world, I know who I am. I know the one who called me, and I stand firm in this truth. Without this truth, doubts will begin to creep in. You will question your worth, your purpose, and eventually your faith will waver. But with the belt of truth firmly in place, no lie of the enemy can bring you down. Now, let's talk about the breastplate of righteousness. The breastplate protects the most vulnerable part of your body, your heart. The heart is the center of your emotions, your beliefs, and your spiritual life. The enemy knows this, and his greatest desire is to wound your heart. If he can corrupt your heart, he can control your entire life. He does this by throwing arrows of fear, guilt, shame, and anxiety at you. Fear that you're not enough, guilt over your past mistakes, shame that whispers you'll never be worthy, and anxiety that keeps you trapped in a cycle of worry. These arrows are designed to hit your heart, to make you question everything about yourself, to paralyze you in fear. But here's the powerful truth. You are not wearing a breastplate made of your own righteousness. It's not about how good you are or how perfect you've been. You are wearing the righteousness of Christ. When God looks at you, He doesn't see your failures or mistakes. He sees the perfection of His Son covering you. This breastplate is impenetrable. No accusation of the enemy can pierce it. No matter how hard the enemy tries to remind you of your past, to make you feel unworthy, you can stand tall and declare, I am righteous, not because of what I've done, but because of what Christ has done for me. This truth sets you free. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are defined by the righteousness of God that covers your heart, protecting you from every attack. It may seem strange to focus on something as simple as shoes in a discussion about spiritual warfare, but the shoes of the gospel of peace are critical. Imagine a soldier without proper footwear, trying to march across a battlefield littered with sharp rocks, thorns, and uneven ground. Even with the best armor, he would stumble, fall, and be unable to move forward. In the same way, without the peace that comes from the gospel, you cannot move forward in life. The gospel of peace is not just a vague sense of calm. It is the deep, abiding peace that comes from knowing that God is in control. This peace is not dependent on your circumstances. It doesn't waver when storms arise. It's the peace that surpasses all understanding, the peace that holds you steady in the midst of chaos. These shoes allow you to walk confidently, no matter how treacherous the path ahead may seem. When fear tries to paralyze you, when uncertainty clouds your vision, these shoes remind you that God has already paved the way. Every step you take is guided by His peace, and because of that, you can walk forward boldly, knowing that no ground is too dangerous for you to traverse. Of all the pieces of armor, the shield of faith is perhaps the most important. The enemy is relentless in launching his fiery arrows, arrows of doubt, fear, anxiety, despair, all designed to bring you down. But it is your faith that extinguishes these arrows before they can reach you. However, here's something you need to understand. The shield of faith is not automatic. It doesn't work by simply existing in your life. You have to lift it. Faith is not passive, it is active. It is a daily choice to believe in God's promises, even when your circumstances scream the opposite. Faith is choosing to trust in God's goodness, even when fear is pounding at your door. Faith is not just for the good times. It is for the moments when everything seems to be falling apart. That's when you need to lift your shield the highest. When doubts come, does God really care about me? You lift your shield and say, I trust in God's love. When fear tries to cripple you, you declare, God is my refuge, my strength, my fortress. When anxiety tries to overwhelm you, you remind yourself, God is in control and He has a plan for my life. The helmet of salvation guards your mind. The enemy's goal is to infiltrate your thoughts, planting seeds of doubt, confusion, and despair. He knows that if he can control your mind, he can control your actions. But the helmet of salvation protects you from these mental attacks. When you wear the helmet of salvation, you are reminding yourself of who you are, a child of God, saved by grace and redeemed by Christ's blood. Your identity is secure. Your salvation is unshakable. When the enemy tries to make you doubt your worth or your relationship with God, you can confidently declare, my mind belongs to Christ. I am saved, and nothing can change that. The sword of the Spirit is the only offensive weapon in your spiritual armor. It is the word of God, sharper than any two-edged sword. With it, you don't just defend yourself, you advance. When Jesus was tempted in the wilderness, he didn't just stand there and endure the enemy's attacks. He fought back with the word of God, declaring, it is written. You have that same power. When anxiety tries to consume you, when fear tries to control you, when doubt tries to take root, you don't have to stand there and take it. You can wield the sword of the Spirit, speaking God's word over your life. Declare, it is written. God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Declare, it is written. Greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world. The word of God is your weapon, and it is mighty to tear down every stronghold the enemy tries to build in your life. Finally, prayer is what activates your armor. Without prayer, the armor remains inactive. Prayer is not a last resort. It is your first line of defense. It is through prayer that you invite God into your battles. It is through prayer that you strengthen your faith, renew your mind, and wield the sword of the Spirit with power. Prayer is not just a defense mechanism. It is a weapon of attack. When you pray, the heavens move on your behalf. When you pray, God rises to fight for you. When you pray, spiritual forces of darkness are pushed back, and the enemy's plans are thwarted. Never underestimate the power of a life of prayer. It opens the gates of heaven and brings divine intervention into your life. You were chosen for something greater, and God has already provided everything you need to win. Don't give up. The victory is already yours. Every day, put on the armor of God, declare His promises over your life, lift the shield of faith, wield the sword of the Spirit, and watch as the impossible becomes possible. If this message has touched your heart, share it with others. Don't keep it to yourself. You might be the very channel God uses to transform someone's life. May you walk in the fullness of your calling. Remember, you are chosen, loved, and equipped for victory. Now let us pray together. Heavenly Father, we come before you with humble hearts, recognizing our need for your strength. Clothe us in your armor, Lord. Protect us, guide us, and help us stand firm in faith. Strengthen our hearts, renew our minds, and empower us to walk boldly in the purpose you have set before us. May your presence be with us always, and may we find rest in your unfailing love. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. If this message resonates with you, don't leave without taking action. Leave a comment, connect with this community, and take your place in God's movement. Together, we are stronger. Together, we are victorious.
There comes a moment in life when you realize that the chains you've been bound by were never your own. They were forged from the fears, insecurities, and desires of someone else. For some, this epiphany arrives in a quiet moment of reflection. For others, it crashes in like a storm, tearing apart the illusions that once held sway over their lives. But no matter how it arrives, one thing is certain. It marks the beginning of a profound transformation, a journey from bondage to freedom, from darkness to light. This is not just a personal struggle. It's a spiritual awakening. It's about reclaiming your power, the power that was always yours but was buried beneath the weight of someone else's expectations, manipulations, and control. This journey is not for the faint of heart. It requires courage, clarity, and the willingness to confront deep-rooted beliefs about yourself and the people you hold dear. And for many, the person who casts the longest shadow is their mother. For years, you may not have realized the subtle ways in which your mother exerted control over you. Her words of caution, her sighs of disappointment, her veiled criticisms. Each one was a thread in a web designed to keep you small, to tether you to her vision of who you should be. But the truth is, those threads were never about love or protection. They were about control, fear, and insecurity. And now, as you awaken to this truth, you begin to see the web for what it is, a cage built from the inside out, one that you have the power to dismantle. From childhood, there was always a voice in your ear, a quiet but persistent presence that whispered not of encouragement, but of control. It was more than just advice. It was a narrative carefully crafted to keep you small, tethered, and dependent. This wasn't just a protective instinct gone astray. It was a manipulation masked as guidance, laced with fear and guilt, ensuring you never strayed too far from her grasp. Think back to every time she dismissed your dreams with a sigh or met your excitement with a sharp, disapproving glance. Remember how her words seemed to wrap around your thoughts, twisting them until you second-guessed every decision, every moment of joy, every glimmer of independence. This was the spell she cast, not with the flick of a wand, but with every carefully chosen word, every veiled criticism, every comparison that left you feeling less than. Her goal was clear, to keep you tethered to her version of who you were supposed to be, forever in her shadow, never stepping fully into your own light. But the spell was not just in the words she spoke. It was in the tone she used, the look she gave, the silence that filled the air after your successes were met with indifference. It was in the way she constantly reminded you of how much she had sacrificed, making you feel as though your every step forward was somehow a betrayal of her efforts. These were the threads she wove into the fabric of your being, threads that tightened around your spirit every time you dared to shine. Over time, the once impenetrable threads of her control began to fray, not because she loosened her grip, but because you began to see the cracks in the reality she had constructed around you. There was a quiet storm brewing inside you, a sense of something deeply wrong that you could no longer ignore. It was a feeling that you were meant for more, that your life had a purpose far beyond the limitations she had imposed upon you. Every time she questioned your choices as though they were failures of her own, every time she dismissed your victories as insignificant, you felt the chains tighten. But something was changing. What once felt like loving concern now revealed itself as fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of watching you outgrow her influence. Fear of seeing you step into a power that had never belonged to her. It was as if a veil had been lifted, and you began to see her actions for what they truly were. Not guidance, but attempts to keep you small. Not protection, but an effort to control. Her criticisms, once piercing and painful, now served only to expose her own insecurities. Her attempts to clip your wings were less about your well-being and more about her fear of losing the grip she thought she had on your life. The spell she had so carefully woven was unraveling. With every realization, every moment of clarity, her words lost their power. You saw through her manipulations, recognizing them not as truths, but as chains designed to bind you to a version of yourself that served her needs, not your destiny. The storm within you grew, not of anger, but of awakening. You were no longer the pliable child she could mold at will. You were becoming aware, conscious, and strong. Then came the turning point, a moment so quiet yet so powerful that it shifted the entire balance of power. You stood at the edge of a breakthrough, an opportunity that would change everything, a chance to step into a life she had always deemed too big, too bold, too beyond what she had envisioned for you. The excitement surged through you, but this time, you didn't run to her for approval. You held your joy close, shielded it from the storm of negativity you knew she would unleash. It wasn't fear that held your tongue, it was strength. You knew that sharing this joy with her would mean watching her dismantle it piece by piece, just as she had done with so many of your dreams before. This decision marked a quiet rebellion, a defiant choice to protect your own light from the darkness of her disapproval. For the first time, you chose your path over her validation, and in that silence, the spell began to break. You realized her power over you had always been an illusion, one sustained by your need for her approval, a need she had carefully cultivated. She had made you believe that your victories were hollow without her praise, but now you saw it clearly. Her validation was nothing more than another tool to keep you tethered. In that pivotal moment, you reclaimed your destiny. Her disapproving looks and dismissive words no longer defined you. You stopped shrinking yourself to fit into the small, suffocating box she had crafted, and in doing so, you shattered the chains that had bound you for so long. The spell was breaking, and with every step forward you felt the weight lift. As you moved forward, something profound began to happen. The very energy she had used to keep you confined now turned against her. What she had once wielded as power was slipping through her fingers, reversing in a way she never anticipated. Every time she tried to reassert control, to pull you back under her influence, she found herself grasping at shadows, her old tactics now powerless. The spell had reversed and it was binding her. The sharpness of her tone, the manipulative guilt trips, the subtle digs meant to undermine your confidence, they no longer reached you. Instead, they reflected back onto her, highlighting her own fears and insecurities. Her attempts to clip your wings now left her entangled in the very web she had spun, each thread tightening around her. Not you. She watched from the sidelines as you soared higher, each achievement, each moment of peace and self-realization, a testament to the strength she could no longer deny. Her criticisms, once venomous and capable of cutting deep, now held no power. They fell into a void, unacknowledged and irrelevant. The control she once exercised over your every move was gone, evaporated in the light of your awakening. And then came the realization, the moment her facade began to crack. You could see it in her eyes, the flicker of panic she tried to disguise as frustration. She understood what had happened. The power had shifted, and she was now the one struggling to maintain control. Her once firm grip on your decisions had slipped, and no matter how desperately she tried to pull you back, it was futile. The reversal was complete, and the consequences of her actions began to unfold. The life she had constructed so carefully, built on manipulation and control, started to crumble under its own weight. Her health faltered, as though her own body was rebelling against the venom she had cast toward you. Relationships she had maintained with the same manipulative threads began to fray, exposing the loneliness she had so desperately tried to mask. Her financial security, once a stronghold, now teetered on the brink, as though the universe itself had grown tired of her greed. The walls she had built to contain you were now closing in on her, suffocating her in the same way she had sought to suffocate your spirit. She found herself grappling with setbacks she could no longer control, each one a mirror reflecting back the harm she had tried to inflict upon you. It wasn't that you wished her ill. You simply watched with clarity as the natural consequences of her actions unfolded. The energy she had poured into keeping you small now turned inward, leaving her to confront the emptiness of her own making. Every attempt she made to regain control only served to tighten the noose around her own intentions. The very spells she had relied on to keep you tethered were now her undoing. She tried to wield the old tricks, pulling at the emotional strings she once knew so well, but they no longer had the desired effect. The guilt trips, the accusations, the reminders of her sacrifices, they fell flat, their impact dulled by the clarity you had gained. The veil had been lifted, and what once held you captive now held no sway over you. The final break was not loud or dramatic. It was a quiet severing of ties that happened deep within you, a shift so monumental that it redefined everything. It was the point at which her manipulations no longer affected you, where the weight she once held over your life evaporated, leaving only the clarity of your own strength. You had done the work, healed the wounds she created, and now her scars were nothing more than reminders of battles you had already won. Her power was gone, not because she released it, but because you took it back. You were no longer bound by the chains of guilt, fear, or obligation that once defined your relationship. The moment she truly lost was not one she would even recognize. It was the moment you stopped needing anything from her. No validation, no approval, no acknowledgement. Her control over your life had ended not with a fight, but with the quiet, unshakable truth that you no longer cared. Perhaps it was at a family gathering, during a routine phone call, or in one last desperate attempt to pull you back. She tried again, grasping at the final threads of control, but this time, you were different. Her words, once so heavy, now drifted past you like leaves on the wind. You saw through her, each attempt exposed as nothing more than a last-ditch effort to reclaim a power that had never truly been hers. She could sense it too, though she would never admit it. The distance between you was no longer physical, but it was vast and undeniable. Her attempts to wound you, to pull you back into the familiar patterns of emotional cage building, were futile. You remained still, unshaken, as her words dissolved into nothing. The guilt that had once wrapped itself around you like a chain now broke apart at your feet. You didn't need to defend yourself. Your silence was louder than any rebuttal. You walked away, whether physically or emotionally, unscathed by her last desperate attempt. The spell was shattered, and with it, any hold she thought she had over you. You were free, and for the first time, she was left to grapple with the hollow remains of her broken control. Her influence was a distant memory, crumbling under the weight of your self-realization. This victory was not just about breaking free from her control. It was about reclaiming your autonomy, your voice, and your truth. You were no longer living in the shadow of her manipulation. Every step you took was yours. Every decision guided by your inner strength, rather than external expectations. Her attempts to hold you back had only served to highlight how far you had come. The chains that once held you were broken, and you walked forward unburdened, stronger, and more resilient than ever. You no longer sought her permission to thrive. You no longer needed her to confirm your worth. You had found your strength within, and that inner power was a light she could never extinguish. Now is the time to share your story. How did you break free from the spells others tried to cast on you? How did you reclaim your power and rise above the manipulation? Your triumph is not just a personal victory, it is a beacon for others who are still struggling to free themselves. By sharing your experience, you become a guiding light, helping others recognize their own strength. The spell has been broken and you are free. Free from the chains of manipulation, free from the weight of someone else's expectations, and free to live your life on your terms. This is the ultimate victory, not over your mother, but over the limitations that once held you back. You have reclaimed your power, and with it, your future. The path ahead is yours to shape, and the possibilities are endless. No longer bound by the need for validation or approval, you are free to pursue your dreams, to follow your intuition, and to live in alignment with your true self. The journey of breaking free from the spell of manipulation is not easy, but it is worth it. It requires courage, clarity, and a deep commitment to yourself. But as you walk this path, you will find that the rewards are greater than you could have ever imagined. You are no longer defined by the shadows of your past. You stand tall in your own light, unshaken, unstoppable, and untouchable. The power has always been yours, and now it is undeniable. This is your time, your life, and your truth. Embrace it fully, and watch as the world opens up before you. Now is the time to share your story. How did you break free from the spells others tried to cast on you? How did you reclaim your power and rise above the manipulation? Your triumph is not just a personal victory. It is a beacon for others who are still struggling to free themselves. By sharing your experience, you become a guiding light, helping others recognize their own strength. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Your presence here shows your courage and your desire to grow beyond the shadows of the past. If this video resonated with you, if it inspired you to see your worth and reclaim your power, please consider subscribing to our channel. Join us on this journey of healing, self-discovery, and empowerment. By subscribing, you not only support this community but also ensure that you never miss out on more content designed to uplift and inspire. My friends, remember that the spell is broken. You are free, and the future is yours to create. You are here for a reason. This message is not for everyone, but if you found this, then it was meant for you. There are no coincidences in the universe. Every encounter, every twist of fate is part of a divine design, and you being here right now is proof of that. The universe has guided you to this moment, nudging you toward a truth that will change everything you thought you knew about your life, your purpose, and your destiny. Something powerful is about to be revealed, and it will transform your view of yourself, your past, and the path ahead. If you feel a pull to stay until the end, you are one of the chosen ones. Those destined to hear this message, to resonate with its every word. For some, this message may not yet be theirs to receive, and that's okay. The universe works on its own timeline, and when their moment comes, they too will feel this call. But if you're still with me, ready to listen and embrace the truth that awaits, know that you are standing on the edge of a monumental shift. Before we begin, if you resonate with this message and are seeking more guidance on your journey, consider subscribing to our channel. We're here to provide insight and support as you walk this extraordinary path. And leave a comment with the number 77 to signal to the universe that you are ready to embrace the path laid out for you. This moment is not a coincidence. It is a calling, a divine appointment that has been waiting for you all along. Let's dive deep, and I promise, by the end, you will see the truth that's been patiently waiting within you. Have you felt it? That quiet whisper, a persistent pull, telling you that your life was meant for more than the mundane routines that many settle for? Deep inside, you've always known. There's been a feeling, a knowing, that you are destined for something extraordinary. Perhaps you've spent years waiting for a sign, some confirmation that all the pain, the struggles, and the lonely moments were building towards something significant. Let me assure you, you did not find this message by accident. You are ready. The universe has been preparing you for this moment all along. The trials you faced were not mere obstacles. They were shaping you, fortifying you, crafting the resilience, strength, and faith that you would need to fulfill your true purpose. Each setback, every closed door, and every broken dream was a necessary step in your transformation. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. Chosen ones are not simply handed their destiny. They must earn it. You have faced hardships not as a punishment or a sign of unworthiness, but because you are being refined, much like gold tested and purified in the fire. Each trial, setback, and moment of pain serves as the universe's way of preparing you, molding your spirit and sharpening your resolve. These challenges are not just obstacles, but vital experiences that ensure, when your moment of truth arrives, you will stand ready, strong, unbreakable, and fully aligned with your higher purpose, unwavering in your mission. Have you ever wondered why certain relationships fell apart? Why jobs that seemed perfect never materialized? Or why you felt out of place in so many spaces? Every rejection was a redirection. Every closed door was the universe steering you away from paths that were never meant for you. You are not here by mistake. You are here because you are finally ready to step into your true path. As you stand on this threshold, the universe is inviting you to peel back the layers that have kept you hidden from your true self. Beneath the masks shaped by societal expectations, family pressures, and the opinions of others lies the authentic you, the version of yourself that has always been destined to emerge. This unveiling is not about becoming someone new, but about rediscovering the essence of who you've always been. For too long, you've tried to fit into molds that were never meant for you, dimming your light to make others comfortable, silencing your voice to keep the peace. But now, the universe is guiding you to let go of those false identities. The wisdom, power, and love you've been searching for are not out there somewhere. They are within you. This is a homecoming, a return to the soul that has been patiently waiting for you to recognize its worth. This journey may feel exhilarating yet daunting, filled with moments of both profound clarity and deep uncertainty. But remember, this is not about perfection. It's about authenticity. It's about embracing the parts of yourself that you've been taught to hide, the quirks, the scars, the unpolished truths. Your imperfections are not weaknesses. They are the unique brushstrokes of the masterpiece that is you. As you begin to strip away the layers, you'll find that many of the superficial concerns that once consumed you start to fade. Your worth is not tied to your accomplishments, your possessions, or the validation of others. It is the radiant light within you that shines brightest in the darkness, a light that cannot be dimmed by any external force. This realization will free you from the constraints of societal norms and empower you to live authentically. With the unveiling of your true self comes a powerful calling, a deeper sense of purpose that rises within you like a tide, sweeping away doubts and revealing the path you were always meant to walk. It's a calling that you have felt for as long as you can remember, a quiet whisper that has echoed in your heart, reminding you that you are meant for more than the surface-level existence that so many settle for. Perhaps you felt it as a child, a spark of wonder and possibility. Or maybe it surfaced during moments of hardship when something inside you refused to give up. That knowing, that unshakable sense that your life is destined for something significant, has been guiding you all along. Your purpose is not a title, a job, or an external achievement. It is the very essence of who you are. It flows naturally from your authentic self, reflecting the unique light you bring to the world. The universe has placed you here for a specific reason. And now is the time to fulfill that role. This is your calling, and it transcends personal gain. It is about contributing to the collective evolution and healing of humanity. Many chosen ones struggle with questions of purpose, grappling with feelings of uncertainty, self-doubt, and confusion as they navigate through life's complexities. It's common to feel lost or to question if you are on the right path, especially when the road ahead seems unclear and the burdens of past mistakes or unfulfilled dreams weigh heavily on your heart. You may find yourself constantly searching, hoping for signs or external validation to confirm your path. But the truth is that your purpose is not something you need to seek out, chase, or find in the external world. It has been with you all along. Embracing your purpose may require you to let go of certain people, places, or situations that no longer serve your higher calling. While this can be challenging, trust that what you release will be replaced by something far greater, something that aligns with your true path. The universe rewards those who have the courage to walk away from what no longer serves them. opening doors to new opportunities that resonate with their soul's mission. As you begin to understand the universe's preparations, it becomes clear that every experience, every twist of fate, and every challenge you faced was not random, but an essential part of your unique journey. Life has not been easy, and you've weathered storms that would have overwhelmed many. You've walked through valleys of doubt, endured periods of darkness that could have broken the strongest of souls, and yet here you stand, resilient and transformed, on the brink of stepping fully into your purpose. Every trial has been a lesson, every setback a step toward growth, each one refining you, strengthening you, and shaping you into the person you were always meant to become. But trusting the process is not always straightforward. It often means navigating through periods of uncertainty, where the future feels foggy and the weight of the unknown hangs heavily on your shoulders. It's natural to want to control outcomes, to map out every detail of your journey, and to cling to the familiar, but true transformation requires a different approach. The universe operates on a timeline that often defies our understanding. What feels like a setback may actually be a divine orchestration, redirecting you towards something far greater than you could have planned. Balancing inspired action with surrender is essential. You are not just a passive observer, but a co-creator of your reality. Trusting the process means having faith that every detour, every unexpected twist, is part of a greater design. This trust requires you to shift from fear to faith, a transition that is not always easy but is necessary for your growth. Fear often manifests as self-doubt, the fear of failure, or the reluctance to embrace your power. But faith is the antidote to fear. It is the unshakable belief that you are exactly where you need to be, and that everything is unfolding for your highest good. Making this shift is a gradual process that involves letting go of old narratives and consciously choosing to believe in something greater than yourself. It requires recognizing when fear arises and responding with trust instead. Each time you choose faith over fear, you strengthen your connection to the divine and align more closely with your purpose. As you step into your true self, you may encounter feelings of vulnerability, moments of insecurity or fear of being seen too deeply. Vulnerability, however, is not a weakness. It is a gateway to authenticity and deeper connection. It allows you to show up fully in your truth, flaws and all, and to forge genuine bonds with others. Being vulnerable means allowing yourself to be seen, to share your journey, even when it feels uncomfortable. It means acknowledging your struggles and embracing your imperfections as part of your story. By doing so, you not only liberate yourself from the fear of judgment, but also inspire others with your courage. Your vulnerability is a testament to your strength, a powerful reminder that true connection comes from being unapologetically you. As you embrace vulnerability, you will find that the superficial layers of your life begin to fall away. The relationships that are meant for you will deepen, while those that no longer align with your truth will naturally fade. This shedding is not a loss, but a necessary part of your evolution, creating space for connections that nurture your soul. Your intuition is one of your most powerful assets on this journey. It serves as an inner compass, guiding you toward your true path and helping you make decisions that resonate with your soul. Learning to trust your intuition involves tuning into your inner voice and recognizing its significance, especially in a world that often values logic over feeling. Intuition often manifests as a gut feeling, a quiet whisper, or an inexplicable knowing. It may come to you during moments of stillness or in the midst of life's chaos. The key is to create space for these insights, to practice mindfulness, meditation, or simply taking time in nature. The more you listen, the clearer your intuition will become, empowering you to make choices that align with your highest good. Fear and doubt can cloud your judgment, leading you to second-guess yourself. But remember, your intuition is your ally. It is deeply connected to your authentic self and your connection to the universe. Trusting your intuition is a powerful act of self-love, allowing you to navigate your journey with confidence and grace. As you step into your purpose, The people you surround yourself with will significantly influence your journey. Seek out those who uplift and inspire you, whose energy fosters growth and creativity. A supportive community is essential, providing the encouragement you need to navigate challenges and celebrate your victories. Take a moment to evaluate your current relationships. Are they empowering, or do they drain your energy? Surround yourself with individuals who resonate with your vibration and share your values. Engage with communities that support your growth, whether through spiritual groups, online communities, or simply connecting with like-minded souls. These connections will provide the strength and inspiration you need as you continue on your transformative journey. Your environment also plays a crucial role in your journey. Create spaces that nurture your spirit, whether in your home, workspace, or community. Surround yourself with positive energy, and you will find that your inner world begins to reflect your outer environment, fostering a sense of peace and purpose. While trusting the process is vital, taking inspired action is equally crucial. This means acting on the nudges and insights you receive from the universe. Inspired action comes from a place of alignment with your true self. It feels effortless and fulfilling, guiding you naturally toward your purpose. Begin by setting clear intentions for what you want to achieve, focusing on the feelings you wish to experience rather than specific outcomes. Allow your intuition to guide you as you take steps forward. Each action should resonate with your soul, bringing you closer to your purpose. Remember, inspired action doesn't always mean making drastic changes. Sometimes, the smallest steps can lead to the most significant transformations. Trust that every action you take, no matter how small, is part of the greater plan. Celebrate your progress, remain open to the possibilities that unfold, and know that you are exactly where you need to be. Change is an inevitable part of growth, especially as you step into your purpose. Embracing change means letting go of the familiar and welcoming new experiences, even when it feels daunting. The comfort of the known often feels safe, but true growth happens when you step into the unknown. Recognize that each shift in your life is an opportunity to evolve and align more closely with your authentic self. Allow yourself to feel the discomfort that often accompanies change. It is a sign that you are expanding, pushing beyond your limits, and exploring new horizons. Cultivating resilience will help you navigate change with grace, trusting that each transition is bringing you closer to your ultimate purpose. As you journey through this process, it's important to take time to celebrate your progress. Acknowledge the milestones, both big and small, that you achieve along the way. Celebrating your achievements reinforces your commitment to your purpose and fuels your motivation to keep moving forward. Consider keeping a journal of your journey. Write down your insights, the challenges you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned. This will serve as a powerful reminder of your growth and the strength you've shown. Share your successes with your community. Celebrating with others not only strengthens your connections but also inspires those around you to embrace their own journeys. As you align with your true self, you will begin to attract abundance into your life. Abundance is not just about material wealth. It encompasses love, joy, fulfillment, and opportunities that resonate with your highest self. To embrace abundance, you must shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of limitless possibility. Start by expressing gratitude for what you already have. Gratitude opens your heart and aligns your energy with the abundance you wish to attract. Practice visualization techniques to imagine your dreams in vivid detail, feeling the emotions associated with achieving them. The universe responds to the energy you emit, and when you believe wholeheartedly in your vision, you attract the circumstances that align with it. As you step into your purpose, prioritizing self-care becomes essential. The demands of life can be overwhelming, and taking care of yourself ensures that you remain grounded and energized. Self-care is not a luxury. It is a necessity for maintaining your well-being and resilience. Incorporate practices that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Whether it's meditation, exercise, spending time in nature, or pursuing hobbies that bring you joy. Remember that taking time for yourself is an investment in your overall growth and fulfillment. A well-nurtured spirit is better equipped to handle the challenges that arise on the path to purpose. Trusting your journey is one of the most important aspects of embracing your purpose. Understand that everyone's path is unique, and comparing yourself to others only creates unnecessary pressure. Focus on your own experiences and the lessons they bring, knowing that each step is a vital part of your growth. When faced with challenges, remind yourself that they are opportunities for expansion. Trust that you have the strength and wisdom to navigate whatever comes your way. Your journey is unfolding perfectly, and every experience is contributing to your purpose. Now is the time to step fully into your power. You are not here by accident, and you are not a passive observer of your life. You are a co-creator of your reality, equipped with everything you need to fulfill your mission. Recognize the unique gifts you possess and the light you bring to the world. As you embrace your power, you inspire others to do the same. Your journey is a beacon for those still finding their way, and your courage to live authentically lights the path for others. Trust that you have been prepared for this moment, and let your light shine brightly. Manifestation is not just about wishing for what you want. It's about aligning your energy and actions with your desires. By understanding the principles of manifestation, you can attract opportunities and experiences that resonate with your true self. Clarify your vision, visualize it in detail, and feel the emotions of achieving your dreams. Use tools like vision boards, affirmations, and journaling to reinforce your intentions. The universe responds to the energy you put out, and when you believe in your dreams with conviction, you begin to attract the right circumstances, people, and resources to support your vision. Limiting beliefs are often the biggest barriers to realizing your potential. These beliefs, often rooted in past experiences or societal conditioning, can hold you back from fully embracing your purpose. To break free, start by identifying the thoughts that arise when you think about your dreams. Are they grounded in reality, or are they fears holding you back? Challenge these beliefs with positive affirmations and empowering narratives. You have the power to rewrite your story, to release what no longer serves you, and to step boldly into the life you are meant to live. Letting go is a vital skill on your path to fulfillment. Holding on to past experiences, relationships, or emotions can weigh you down and hinder your progress. Embrace the art of letting go to create space for new opportunities that align with your purpose. Whether it's releasing a toxic relationship, an unfulfilling job, or negative thought patterns, trust that what you let go of will be replaced by something greater. Letting go is not a loss. It's a powerful act of self-love and liberation, opening the door to new possibilities. Gratitude is a transformative practice that shifts your perspective and enhances your journey. By focusing on what you appreciate in your life, you cultivate a mindset of abundance and positivity. Gratitude opens your heart, allowing more blessings to flow into your life. Incorporate a daily gratitude practice, whether through journaling or verbal affirmations. Take time each day to reflect on the things you are thankful for, both big and small. This practice will help you stay connected to the present moment and recognize the beauty that surrounds you. As you reflect on this journey, remember that you are here because you are ready to step into the fullness of your purpose, to embrace your power, and to live authentically. The path of a chosen one is not without its challenges, but it is rich with meaning, growth, and transformation. Every trial you've faced has prepared you for this moment. Trust that the universe is guiding you every step of the way, providing support through signs, synchronicities, and the connections you make along the journey. You are never alone, and your light is needed now more than ever. Embrace your true self, flaws and all, and let your light shine as a guiding force for others. The world is waiting for you to step into your power and fulfill the incredible destiny that is uniquely yours. If you found this message inspiring, please like this video, share it with those who might benefit, and subscribe to Inner Mystics for more transformative content. Together, let's continue to explore the path of awakening and purpose. Your journey has just begun, and the best is yet to come. The world often operates on perceptions, on the surface of things. People look at your age, your appearance, and assume that they know your limitations. They see youth as a synonym for inexperience, and they mistake your patience for weakness. But the truth is that your spirit is far older than your years. Your soul carries within it the weight of lifetimes, forged in the fires of adversity, strengthened by trials, and illuminated by divine wisdom. You are not bound by the narrow confines of this lifetime, nor by the judgments of those who are blind to your true power. When they dismiss you as naive, they fail to see that your strength does not come from earthly knowledge alone. It is a gift from the divine. You are chosen, handpicked by the Creator long before you took your first breath in this world. The journey you walk is not one dictated by the fleeting perceptions of others, but by the eternal hand of God guiding your every step. Every moment of underestimation, every slight, every attempt to undermine you has been woven into a divine plan far beyond what they can comprehend. And soon, they will see the truth. They will witness the power of God manifesting through you. Throughout your journey, your youthful appearance has been both a gift and a challenge. It's a gift in the sense that it reflects the powerful energy that flows from within. You possess a light, an unmistakable glow that makes you seem untouched by the harshness of the world, as though time itself respects your essence. Yet on the other hand, it is a challenge, because this same youthful visage leads many to underestimate you. They see only the surface, judging by appearance alone, and mistakenly believe that you lack the depth and wisdom that age typically bestows. In their eyes, youth equates to inexperience, to being untested, unwise, and easily manipulated. But what they fail to recognize is that age is not the sole marker of wisdom. Your spirit carries the weight of ages. You were chosen long before you entered this world, a being of profound knowledge, imbued with ancient truths that defy the limitations of time. Your spirit is vibrant, timeless, and constantly renewed by a connection to the divine that surpasses the understanding of those around you. They thought they could mess with you. They assumed their whispers, their manipulation, their attempts to undermine your strength would go unnoticed or unchallenged. After all, in their eyes, you were but a youth, and youth is often easy prey. But oh, how mistaken they were. Beneath the surface lies a power they could never have anticipated, a divine force that dismantles their illusions and reveals the truth. God has never left your side, and in every moment of belittlement, every attempt to step over you, the divine plan was already in motion, working to reveal the truth of who you are. They looked at you and saw someone too young to understand, too inexperienced to matter. What they didn't realize was that every condescending smirk, every dismissive glance, and every undermining action only fueled the divine plan that had been quietly unfolding behind the scenes. For you are not merely your age or appearance. You are a chosen one, entrusted with wisdom that transcends time and space. While they played their games, thinking they could take advantage of what they perceived as weakness, you were operating on a different plane altogether, guided by a force far greater than their shallow judgments. In your workplace, in your social circles, perhaps even within your own family, they've tried the same tired tactics. They've taken credit for your ideas, thinking you would stay silent. They've whispered behind your back, confident that your voice held no weight. They've acted as though their seniority, their age, or their worldly achievements somehow gave them the right to dismiss you. But what they fail to grasp is that while they scramble for status and validation, you are grounded in something infinitely more powerful, the guidance of the divine. When the critical moment arrived and everyone was scrambling for solutions, it was you who stood firm, rooted in the ancient wisdom that flows through your veins. You didn't just present an innovative plan, you laid it out with such conviction, such quiet strength, that the room fell silent. The very people who had sought to dismiss you were now watching in disbelief as your ideas began to flourish. Their empty boasts crumbled into dust, and all that remained was the undeniable truth that you are a force to be reckoned with, someone whose wisdom cannot be dismissed simply because of youthful appearance. The divine spark within you had made itself known, and there was no going back. The room had been silenced not by noise, but by the undeniable power of your presence. What they didn't understand and still struggle to comprehend is that your youthful appearance is not a mere physical trait. It is a direct reflection of the divine energy that radiates from within you. It's not just your skin or your features that make you appear younger. It's the light you carry, the vibrancy of your spirit that defies the normal limits of the human condition. Your connection to the source, to the eternal, keeps your spirit vibrant and alive. Every time you walk in faith, every time you release old wounds, shed the weight of negativity, and trust in the divine, you allow that radiant energy to flow more freely through you, revitalizing your body and soul. This is why, while others may age with time, your essence remains ageless. You possess the wisdom of the ancients, yet you still carry the playfulness and wonder of youth. This inner harmony between wisdom and wonder reflects outward, giving you that undeniable glow that others can't help but notice. They might try to explain it away as good genes or luck, but deep down, you know it's something far more powerful than that. It's the divine energy within you, the same energy that has sustained the universe since the beginning of time. People often see youthful looks as a fleeting gift, something that will inevitably fade with time. But what they fail to see is that for you, this youthful appearance is not bound by the same laws as others. Time may pass, but it cannot touch the eternal energy that sustains you. You are a chosen one, and the divine has seen fit to bless you with a presence that defies the expectations of the world. Others may see youth and mistake it for weakness, but you know that your appearance is a disguise, a surface-level trait that hides the power of an ancient soul. They think they can mess with you. They think they can belittle you or manipulate you because they assume your youthful energy is unformed, naive, and easy to sway. What they don't realize is that beneath this youthful exterior lies a spirit that has been tempered by wisdom far beyond their grasp. You are not playing by their rules. While they try to undermine you, unaware of the divine shield that surrounds you, God is already 10 steps ahead, whispering their intentions to your soul before they've even had a chance to act. You are protected in ways they cannot see. Every subtle insult, every attempt to strike at your reputation, is deflected by a force they will never understand. The same hands that crafted the heavens hold you steady, and no amount of scheming or jealousy can penetrate this divine safeguard. They think they can manipulate you, thinking that your inexperience will leave you blind to their deception. But what they don't know is that God has already given you discernment, far sharper than they could ever anticipate. You see their games for what they are. You sense the undercurrents of betrayal in your circle, the whispering shadows of those who seek to undermine you. Someone you once trusted is quietly trying to sabotage you, spreading lies and hoping to watch you fall from a distance. They think they can play you, that you are too oblivious to notice the cracks they're trying to create in your relationships. But what they don't know is that God has already revealed their intentions to you. You are always 10 steps ahead, not because you've plotted revenge, but because you are operating on divine timing, a force that unravels their schemes before they even take root. Without even needing to confront the situation, the truth begins to rise to the surface. Those who were once swayed by rumors and deception now find themselves seeking your perspective directly. They begin to see through the lies, realizing that the stories they were fed were nothing but smoke and shadows. The truth has a way of surfacing when God is in control, and you didn't have to lift a finger to defend yourself. The divine force surrounding you ensured that the deception unraveled itself, revealing the truth for all to see. This is how God works in your life. He takes the plans of those who seek to harm you and turns them into nothingness. Their schemes backfire in ways they never expected, not because you manipulated the situation, but because your trust in the divine allowed the truth to rise on its own. They thought they could destroy your reputation, but in their attempts, they only expose their own character. You walk in divine protection, and every day it becomes clearer to those who once underestimated you. No weapon formed against you can succeed. They might see youth, but you know that this is merely the surface. What runs beneath is the power of an ancient soul, guided and protected by forces far beyond their understanding. Time and time again, they've tried to bring you down, to belittle you, but each time they fail to realize that you are operating on a different level altogether. You are not bound by their rules, nor are you at the mercy of their judgments. God has already laid the path of victory at your feet, and no matter how many times they try to trip you, you will continue to rise. They've tried to rush you, mock your patience, and question why things haven't moved faster for you. To them, it seems like you've been standing still while the world moves forward. But what they fail to understand is that God's timing is flawless. They see delay as failure, but you know that every moment of waiting has been deliberate, every pause intentional. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, moving according to a rhythm that only divine hands can orchestrate. While others scramble ahead, desperate for validation and quick results, you've been quietly building, trusting in the divine plan that has been unfolding for you all along. God has been using this time to refine you, to prepare you for the magnitude of blessings that are about to flood your life. What appeared to be delay in their eyes was, in reality, a period of strengthening, a time for you to be sharpened, positioned for the exact moment when everything would fall into place. They thought you were waiting in vain, but they couldn't have been more wrong. Every day that passed without the breakthrough you sought was not a punishment. It was divine preparation. You were being made ready for something far beyond what they could comprehend, and now that the time has come, the elevation is undeniable. Those who rushed ahead, desperate for quick victories, now find themselves watching in disbelief as God lifts you higher than they ever imagined possible. When God moves, He moves in ways that make the efforts of men seem insignificant by comparison. Suddenly, without warning, the door opens. The opportunity you've been waiting for arrives, and it is so perfectly aligned with your heart, your purpose, and your calling that you know it was worth every second of waiting. It's not just an opportunity, it's a divine appointment, one that surpasses anything you could have planned for yourself. Paths that once seemed blocked are now wide open. The people who once pitied you, who looked down on you with condescension, are now standing in disbelief. They are watching as God multiplies your efforts 100-fold, thrusting you into spaces they could never reach, no matter how fast they scrambled. What they once saw as insignificance is now elevated to unimaginable heights. This is the power of divine timing, of divine multiplication. The seeds you planted in faith, the moments of selflessness and patience, are now bursting through the soil, growing at a rate that defies natural logic. What seemed small in their eyes has been blessed by God, and the elevation you are experiencing is a direct result of your unwavering trust in His plan. The same people who once disregarded your kindness, who overlooked your efforts, now stand in awe as blessings rain down upon you. You never sought validation, but the recognition that is coming your way will be undeniable. The same ones who ridiculed you for your patience, for your trust in God's timing, will now witness the magnitude of His favor in your life. You gave selflessly, not out of obligation, but because it was in your nature to care, to uplift, to support those around you. And now, all that you have given is coming back to you, multiplied in ways that will leave others speechless. This is the divine principle that governs the universe. Whatever you give with a pure heart returns to you in overflowing measure. God has been keeping a record of every sacrifice, every moment when you put others' needs above your own. He has seen the depth of your heart, the quiet strength behind your selflessness, and now He is pouring out blessings upon you that no one can deny. Those who underestimated you, who thought they could take advantage of your kindness, are now seeing the truth. Your youth was never a weakness. It was always a reflection of the divine energy that flows through you. Your kindness was never endless without consequence. It was the very strength that God has now exalted in full view of those who doubted you. As you step into the fullness of your calling, it will become clear to all that you are not just another face in the crowd. You are a chosen one, a vessel of divine wisdom, carrying the light of God within you. Your story of triumph in the face of doubt will serve as a beacon to others who have been similarly underestimated. You have shown the world that true power does not lie in appearances, but in the depth of one's connection to the divine. God has always seen your heart. He has always known your potential, long before the world took notice. Now, as you rise into the fullness of your calling, those who once doubted you will be left speechless, watching as you step into spaces they never thought you would reach. The world may have seen youth, but God has always seen the truth. You were never bound by their judgments. You were always tied to a higher order, one where your good heart is the currency of elevation. And now, the world will see just how wrong they were. Your rise is not just a victory, it is a divine demonstration of what happens when you trust in God's timing, when you remain steadfast in your faith, and when you embrace the truth of who you are, a chosen one, radiant and timeless, empowered by the divine. The unshakable strength of the divine. The journey has not been easy, but it has always been guided by divine hands. You are not just a survivor of adversity. You are the embodiment of divine resilience. Every challenge you have faced, every moment of doubt or dismissal, has been part of the divine plan to shape you into the powerful being you are today. The world may have underestimated you, but God never did. Now, as you rise into the fullness of your calling, it is time to share your story. Let others see the truth of what it means to be chosen, to rise against the odds, and to embody the divine wisdom that flows through you. You are not just youthful in appearance, you are ancient in wisdom, protected by God, and destined for greatness. The world will see the undeniable truth. You are a chosen one, and no weapon formed against you will ever prosper. The divine plan is unfolding, and your rise has only just begun. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this journey. Your time and presence here mean more than words can express. If this message has resonated with you, inspired you, or touched a part of your soul, please consider subscribing to Inner Mystics. By joining this community, you become part of a circle that seeks to uplift, empower, and explore the profound mysteries of the Spirit together. Let's continue to walk this path, embracing the divine wisdom within us all. Thank you for being here, and may you always rise with the light of your calling. Welcome, beloved soul. You've found your way here today, and I want you to know, it's no accident. Whether you've sensed it for years or are only now beginning to realize, there's a reason you feel different. There's a reason your soul has always longed for something beyond the surface, something higher, something the world couldn't quite offer you. Today we're going to talk about you, about the quiet transformation that has been unfolding inside of you, piece by piece, year by year. It's the kind of transformation that not everyone can see, but you feel it. It's the kind that defies outward appearances but radiates from your soul, creating ripples in the world around you. Have you ever looked back at your life and wondered why, even as a child, you felt older than your years? Why you carried an invisible weight that others didn't seem to notice? Why your eyes, so young, reflected the depth of experiences far beyond what you should have known? You were different and you knew it, but you couldn't understand it back then. Do you remember those early years, when the other kids seemed carefree, laughing and playing, while you watched with a quiet understanding that separated you from them? You weren't sure why. You may not have known the exact reason, but somewhere deep down, you always felt a weight of knowing, a weight of feeling, a weight of seeing the world in a way others couldn't. You saw the world with a wisdom that others couldn't comprehend, but back then, you didn't have the words to explain it. You just knew you were different. The adults around you may have seen it too. They might have commented on how mature you seemed, how serious, how thoughtful for your age. But that maturity didn't come without its struggles. You carried an invisible burden, a sensitivity, a deep-seated awareness that often made you feel older than your peers. You couldn't shake the feeling that while they were enjoying their childhoods, you were navigating something much heavier. And perhaps you struggled with this, feeling out of place, misunderstood by friends, and maybe even by your own family. But what if I told you that all those early struggles were never a mistake? What if I told you that every ounce of pain, confusion, and anxiety you carried back then was preparing you for something greater? Being chosen is never easy, and as a child you may not have realized what that meant. You may have simply felt the weight of it without knowing its significance. But now, looking back, can you see it? Can you see how even then, God was shaping you, molding you for a purpose far beyond what you could have imagined? You were set apart. You always were. And that's why you never fit into the mold the world tried to place you in. You tried, didn't you? You tried to be like everyone else. You tried to laugh as easily, to join in the games, to pretend you were just like them. But no matter how hard you tried, something inside you always felt different, and that difference wasn't easy to carry. For many of you, those early years were marked by inner battles that you didn't know how to explain. There were days when anxiety gripped you, when fear took hold, and you weren't sure why. You saw the world with eyes that seemed to know more, to feel more. And it was exhausting. Sometimes it felt like you were fighting a war inside yourself, struggling to find a place in a world that never seemed to understand you. But what if those battles weren't meant to destroy you? What if they were meant to refine you? Many of the chosen ones, the ones like you, have lived through chaos that seemed unbearable at times. Your identity shifted constantly, one day feeling bold and confident, the next day feeling invisible and small. You may have spent years trying to figure out who you were, where you belonged, and why you felt so different from those around you. You carried the weight of emotions that felt too big for your young body. The world around you was chaotic, and you struggled to find your footing. You may have felt like you were constantly shifting between wanting to be seen and wanting to disappear altogether. It was confusing, wasn't it? You didn't know who you were supposed to be. Your style, your personality, your very essence felt like it was always in flux. You may have looked in the mirror during those years and not recognized the person staring back at you. There was a disconnection between who you felt inside and the image you saw reflected in the glass. You tried to mold yourself into something that would be accepted by the world, but nothing ever felt quite right. The clothes you wore never seemed to fit, not because they were the wrong size, but because they didn't fit the person you were trying to become. And the world was loud, wasn't it? So loud. Everyone around you seemed to know exactly who they were, or at least they pretended to. And you felt lost. You couldn't find a place where you fit, and that made you feel even more isolated. Even your own family, the people who should have understood you the best, often felt like strangers. But beloved, that chaos wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to shape you. I know it felt lonely. You felt too much, too deeply. You saw the world through eyes that carried the weight of lifetimes of experience, and that kind of depth isn't easy to share with others. Most people couldn't grasp the intensity of what you were going through, and that made you feel even more disconnected. But let me tell you something important. The chosen ones are often misunderstood, and that's because they are called to walk a path that others cannot comprehend. You were carrying a depth, a wisdom, a spiritual weight that was far beyond your years, and it made you feel like an outsider. But you were never meant to fit into the world's mold. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were chosen, and because of that, your journey was always going to be different. That's why you felt older than your years when you were young. You were carrying something sacred, something divine, but the world couldn't see it. And sometimes, neither could you. And yet, despite the chaos, despite the confusion, something inside you was changing. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, God was working in you. He was quieting the storms, bringing peace to your heart. Maybe it didn't happen all at once. Maybe it took years, even decades. But over time, you began to notice a shift. The battles that once raged inside you started to quiet. The anxieties that once gripped your soul began to loosen their hold. The fear that kept you up at night began to fade. God was working through you, refining you through every struggle, through every tear, through every moment of doubt. He was using the chaos to shape you, to mold you into the person you were always meant to be. And now, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? You see someone transformed. Someone who carries the glow of inner strength, of purpose, of God's presence. The face that once showed the stress of trying to fit into a world that didn't understand you now glows with the peace of knowing who you are in God's eyes. Your appearance, your energy, your very spirit seems to have reversed in age. You are younger now, more radiant, more alive than you were when you were younger. And that's because you are walking closer to the person God created you to be. The world may have once told you that you were too much, too sensitive, too emotional, too deep. But now, you know that all of those things are what make you who you are. They are not flaws, they are gifts. And now that you have embraced those gifts, now that you have embraced who you are in God's eyes, something remarkable has happened. You have transformed. Your energy is magnetic, but not in the loud, attention-seeking way of the world. It's quiet. It's powerful. It's grounded in something deeper than flesh and bone. It's the light of God shining through you. You once felt misunderstood, like no one could see you for who you truly were. But now, you don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need everyone to see you. You know that not everyone is meant to walk your path. And that's okay. You have found peace in being set apart, in being chosen. You may still feel different. You may still feel like you don't quite fit into the world around you. But now, you wear that difference with pride, with honor. You know that God has placed something inside you that the world needs, even if it doesn't yet realize it. As you have transformed, the people around you have begun to notice. Some are drawn to your newfound peace, your glowing presence. They admire the strength and beauty that radiates from within you. They see the change in you, and it inspires them. But not everyone responds with kindness. Some are envious of your growth, threatened by the light that now shines from you. They may try to tear you down, to diminish the glow you have worked so hard to cultivate. But they can't touch it. The strength you carry is from God, and the glow of a good soul cannot be destroyed by envy or malice. It is a divine light that stands strong against any attempt to dim it. What they don't understand is that your transformation isn't just physical, it's spiritual. God's hand is on you, and no force can break what He has built within you. Now, as we sit here together, reflecting on the journey that has brought you to this moment, I want you to think back to your younger self. Think back to those old photos you used to shy away from, the ones that made you cringe or feel small. But now, something is different, isn't it? Now, when you look at those photos, you don't feel shame or regret. Instead, you feel love. You see the beauty that was always there, wrapped in innocence, cloaked in the struggle of finding yourself. You see strength in the eyes of the child you once were. How blind we were back then to the beauty that radiated from us, even in our confusion, even when we thought we were lost. Looking back now, with the wisdom you've gained, you don't see weakness. You see bravery. You see courage. You see a soul that was doing the best it could, even when the world seemed too heavy to carry. You were so young, so fragile, and yet, so strong. That younger version of you, though they may have been filled with doubts and fears, was also filled with hope. They longed for the peace you now hold. They prayed in their own way for the life you are now living. And God heard those prayers. He heard them, even when you thought He wasn't listening. Every tear, every cry for help, every moment of doubt, He was there, guiding you toward this very moment. And now, as you look forward, you carry the dreams of that younger self with you. You carry the lessons they taught you, the resilience they built within you. You carry the love they gave you, even when you didn't know how to love yourself. You carry the knowledge that God was with you through it all. He saw the beauty in you when you couldn't see it. He saw the strength you had even when you felt like you were falling apart. And He never let go. So now, as you stand in the glow of your transformation, know this: the journey is far from over. There will still be battles to face, struggles to overcome. But you are no longer fighting alone. You are walking in the grace of God, and He is leading you every step of the way. The glow you carry is not just the result of your efforts, it's the result of God's grace. He has shaped you, refined you, through every hardship, every challenge, and the light you now wear is a reflection of His love shining through you. It's a light that cannot be dimmed by the opinions of others or by the struggles you still face. It is eternal, unwavering, because it is rooted in Him. You walk forward now, not with the need for approval from others, but with the peace of knowing that you are already loved, deeply, unconditionally, by the One who created you. And that love is enough. It always was. As we move forward, we do so with love for the past, the present, and the future. We walk with God, knowing that every step we take is part of His divine plan, and we are proud of who we were, proud of who we are, and proud of the journey that lies ahead. You walk forward with peace in your heart, knowing that every step you take is part of a divine plan, far greater than anything you could have imagined. You are becoming exactly who God created you to be, and there is no greater fulfillment than that. So to those of you who are still in the midst of your transformation, still fighting the inner battles, take heart. You are stronger than you know, more beautiful than you realize, and God is with you, just as He has always been. One day, you will look back on this moment and see the beauty, the strength, and the courage that was always within you. And when that day comes, you will be proud, not just of who you have become, but of the journey that brought you here. Remember, dear ones, you are chosen. You have always been chosen, and that is something no one can ever take away from you.
There comes a point in every spiritual journey when the familiar starts to feel unfamiliar. The routines, the relationships, even the goals you once had, they begin to shift, as if something deeper is calling you to change. It's as though life is quietly nudging you toward a new way of being. But what exactly are you being asked to let go of, and why does it feel so necessary? In today's video, we're uncovering the 6 things that highly spiritual people slowly quit as they awaken to their true selves. These changes are subtle at first, but profoundly transformative. What might you be holding on to that's preventing you from stepping into your highest potential? If this resonates with where you are right now, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Together, we're building a community of like-minded souls, supporting each other on the path to spiritual growth. Now, let's explore these 6 powerful shifts and how they can lead you to a life of deeper purpose and freedom. Number 1. Quitting the need for external validation. In a world where people chase approval through likes, comments, and follower counts, it's easy to get caught up in basing your self-worth on what others think of you. From a young age, many of us are taught to seek validation from outside sources, like our parents, friends, social media, or even at work. We start to believe our value depends on how well we meet others' expectations, so we constantly seek recognition, acceptance, and love from those around us. But as your spiritual journey deepens, you begin to see the truth, that no amount of external validation can ever fill the void inside you. The opinions of others, once so pivotal to your self-esteem, now seem insignificant in the light of your growing awareness. You begin to understand that everyone's perception of you is merely a reflection of their own inner world, a mirror of their fears, desires, and limitations. At first, letting go of the need for external validation can feel disorienting. It may seem as though you are disconnecting from the world, stepping away from relationships or social circles that once defined you. But as you slowly release this need, a new sense of inner peace begins to bloom. You start to realize that your true worth comes from within, from your connection to your authentic self, to the divine source of all life. You no longer seek to be liked, understood, or accepted by everyone, for you have found a deeper, more lasting validation in your own soul's recognition of itself. This freedom from external validation is not about becoming indifferent or isolated from the world. Instead, it is about reclaiming your power. You no longer hand over your sense of worth to others' judgments. Instead, you define it on your own terms. You find joy in your unique expression, in the truth of who you are, without the need for approval or applause. This transformation manifests as a profound shift in how you relate to both yourself and others. You become more discerning about whose opinions truly matter, no longer feeling the need to seek approval from everyone around you. Instead of basing your self-esteem on how others perceive you, you begin to measure your worth by how aligned you feel with your own values and inner truths. You start living for yourself, making choices that resonate with your authentic self, rather than chasing validation or praise from others. As a result, your inner peace becomes unshakable, unaffected by external criticism or praise, and you discover a newfound sense of freedom and confidence in who you are. In this newfound independence, you discover an inner freedom that is far more satisfying than any temporary high from external approval. Number 2, letting go of material attachments. In our modern world, success is often measured by the accumulation of material wealth: cars, homes, designer clothes, the latest technology. From a young age, we are taught to equate our worth with what we own. The more we have, the more successful, happy, or fulfilled we are presumed to be. This mindset is deeply ingrained in our societal consciousness, and many of us spend our lives chasing after things, believing they will bring us lasting satisfaction. But on the path of spiritual awakening, you begin to see through the illusion of materialism. The objects and possessions you once coveted start to lose their luster. You realize that while these things may bring temporary pleasure, they are fleeting, impermanent, and ultimately unfulfilling. True abundance, you discover, is not about what you have, it's about who you are. It is measured by the depth of your inner world, by the love and joy you cultivate within yourself and share with others. You begin to see that the most valuable things in life cannot be bought or sold. They are the moments of connection, the peace of mind, the clarity of purpose, the feeling of being in alignment with your soul. As you release your attachment to material things, you may find yourself simplifying your life. You declutter your space, letting go of the excess that no longer serves you. You stop chasing after the latest trends or material achievements, and instead, you focus on what truly nourishes your soul. This is not to say that you renounce all material possessions or live a life of austerity. Rather, you release the belief that things define you or that they are necessary for your happiness. In doing so, you make space for what truly matters: experiences over objects being over having, and presence over accumulation. In your everyday life, this shift shows up in several meaningful ways. You stop measuring your self-worth based on your financial success or the material things you own. Instead, you become more mindful of what you buy and why, making more conscious choices that align with your values. You start to find true joy in the simple pleasures, like connecting with nature, nurturing relationships, exploring your creativity, and expressing your authentic self. As a result, you feel lighter and freer, no longer burdened by the constant pressure to acquire more possessions or chase external success. By releasing your attachment to material possessions, you open yourself up to a life of greater meaning, depth, and fulfillment, one that is not dependent on the external world, but rooted in the richness of your inner being. Number 3, releasing the need for control. For most of our lives, we are taught that in order to succeed, we must control our circumstances. We must plan, strategize, and work tirelessly to make sure everything goes according to plan. This desire for control is rooted in fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of chaos. We believe that if we can just control every detail of our lives, we will be safe, secure, and happy. But as you awaken spiritually, you begin to see that control is an illusion. No matter how hard you try, there are always elements of life that are beyond your grasp. Other people's actions, unexpected events, the mysteries of the future. The more you try to control, the more you resist the natural flow of life and the more tension and anxiety you create within yourself. Slowly, as you deepen in your spiritual journey, you learn to let go of the need to control. You begin to trust in the process of life, in the divine timing of the universe, in the unfolding of your soul's journey. You realize that there is a greater intelligence at work, one that is guiding you toward your highest good, even if you cannot always see or understand it. This doesn't mean that you become passive or indifferent. It means that you learn to surrender, to set your intentions, take inspired action, and then release your attachment to the outcome. You trust that whatever unfolds is exactly what you need for your growth, even if it doesn't match your original plan. This act of surrender is not a weakness, but a profound strength. It requires faith, courage, and humility. As you let go of control, you find peace in the uncertainty, freedom in the not knowing. You begin to flow with life rather than resist it. And in this flow, you discover a deeper sense of ease, trust, and alignment. As you embrace this transformation, you begin to notice significant changes in how you respond to life's challenges. You become less reactive when things don't go as expected, trusting that everything is unfolding in its perfect timing, even if you don't fully understand it in the moment. The urge to force or manipulate outcomes fades, and instead, you allow situations to unfold naturally. This mindset brings a sense of relaxation, openness, and presence into your daily life, as you feel deeply supported by a higher power guiding you along your path. In this state of surrender, you no longer need to control every aspect of your life. You learn to dance with the unknown, to trust in the mystery, and to embrace the unfolding of your soul's journey. Number 4, abandoning toxic relationships. As your spiritual awareness deepens, you begin to reevaluate the relationships in your life. You start to notice the people and connections that drain your energy, hold you back, or keep you stuck in old patterns of behavior. These may be relationships that you have held on to out of obligation, fear, or comfort, but as you grow spiritually, you realize that they no longer serve your highest good. Letting go of toxic relationships is one of the most challenging aspects of spiritual awakening. It often involves distancing yourself from people you care about, people you have shared significant parts of your life with. However, as difficult as it may be, it is a necessary step in your evolution. You cannot continue to grow while staying in environments or relationships that stifle your growth. In this process, you begin to release the relationships that no longer align with your values and aspirations. You create boundaries that protect your energy and well-being. You surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, who encourage your spiritual journey, and who resonate with your authentic self. This doesn't mean you cut people off without compassion. You approach each relationship with mindfulness and love, understanding that every soul is on its own unique path. But you also recognize that your own growth requires making choices that honor your highest good. As you release toxic relationships, you may feel a sense of loss, but you will also feel lighter, freer, and more aligned with your true self. In their place, you attract relationships that are nourishing, supportive, and aligned with your soul's purpose. This transformation might look like becoming more selective about who you spend your time with. You start setting healthier boundaries, no longer allowing others to drain your energy or take advantage of your kindness. As a result, you attract relationships built on mutual respect, authenticity, and support. You feel more empowered, knowing you have the ability to choose who you allow into your life, and this choice strengthens your sense of self-worth and emotional well-being. In this process, you discover the power of community, one that is built on love, truth, and mutual growth. You no longer compromise your energy for relationships that don't serve you. Instead, you create a circle of like-minded souls who support and inspire you on your path of awakening. Number 5. Ceasing to compromise your authentic self. Throughout life, we are often pressured to conform, to play roles, and to wear masks that are not true to who we really are. We learn to suppress our true selves in order to fit in, please others, or avoid conflict. Over time, this leads to a deep disconnection from our authentic nature, from the parts of ourselves that make us unique and vibrant. As you awaken spiritually, you begin to see the cost of this disconnection. You realize that every time you compromise your authenticity, you lose a piece of yourself. You dim your light, shrink your spirit, and live in a state of internal conflict. But on the path of spiritual awakening, you slowly quit this habit. You start to embrace your true self, with all your quirks, flaws, and unique qualities. You no longer feel the need to hide or diminish yourself to make others comfortable. Instead, you stand in your truth unapologetically, living in alignment with your highest values and beliefs. This shift brings a profound sense of freedom and fulfillment. You start to attract people and opportunities that resonate with your authentic self. You create a life that feels deeply aligned with who you are, rather than one based on the expectations or desires of others. This transformation involves no longer pretending to be someone you're not just to fit in or gain approval. You begin to express yourself openly and honestly, without the fear of judgment holding you back. Your own needs, desires, and values take priority, even if they don't align with others' expectations. As a result, you feel more confident and empowered in your own skin, knowing that you are living authentically and in alignment with your true self. As you cease to compromise your authenticity, you step into a life of greater truth, joy, and self-expression. You no longer live in the shadows of others' expectations, but in the light of your own soul. Number 6. Quitting the fear of death. One of the most profound shifts that occurs during spiritual awakening is the gradual release of the fear of death. This may seem like a heavy topic, but it is one that spiritually awakened souls come to terms with as they grow in their awareness. In our society, death is often seen as something to be feared, an end, a loss, a finality. But as you awaken spiritually, you begin to see death from a different perspective. You start to understand that your true essence is eternal, that the soul transcends the physical body, and that death is not an end, but a transition, a doorway to another dimension of existence. This realization brings a deep sense of peace and acceptance. You no longer live in fear of the unknown, but in trust of the divine plan. You start to live more fully in the present moment, appreciating the beauty and impermanence of life. In doing so, you free yourself from the limitations of fear and allow yourself to experience life in its fullest expression. This shift manifests as a growing openness to the unknown, where fear of life's uncertainties and death begins to fade. You start living with greater presence, savoring each moment as a precious gift. There's a deep peace that comes from understanding life as a continuous journey, rather than a finite destination. With this realization, you release the anxiety around death and embrace it as a natural part of the cycle of existence, allowing you to live more fully and fearlessly. In this state of acceptance, you experience life with a deeper sense of wonder and gratitude. You are no longer bound by the fear of death, but liberated by the understanding that life, in all its forms, is eternal. As you continue on your spiritual journey, you will find that these 6 things, external validation, material attachments, the need for control, toxic relationships, compromising your authentic self, and the fear of death, are all things you gradually release. It is a process, one that takes time, patience, and self-compassion. But as you let go of these old patterns, you make space for something much greater: your true self, your true purpose, and a life that is deeply aligned with your soul. Remember, this journey is yours alone. There is no right or wrong way to navigate it. Trust in your own process, honor your own pace, and know that you are exactly where you need to be. If you found this exploration insightful, take a moment to reflect on your own path. What have you found yourself quitting as you've grown spiritually? What shifts have you noticed in your life? Share your experiences below, and let's support one another on this incredible journey of the soul. Together we can awaken to our highest potential and live in the fullness of our true selves.
In a world full of noise and distraction, there is one voice that follows us more closely than any other: our own. This internal dialogue, the ongoing conversation we have with ourselves, is deeply ingrained in human nature. It's as natural as breathing, eating, or sleeping. Yet, despite its constant presence, many of us remain unaware of the profound influence these silent conversations have on the fabric of our lives. We cannot simply shut off this inner chatter, but we can transform it. The nature and direction of our thoughts hold the key to our happiness, success, and peace of mind. Whether we realize it or not, our inner dialogue shapes the circumstances of our existence, serving as the foundation from which our reality springs. As the proverb says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Our external world is, in many ways, a reflection of the thoughts and conversations that occupy our minds. But what happens when these inner conversations are negative, repetitive, and self-limiting? How do we break free from the patterns that no longer serve us? The answer lies in becoming conscious of our thoughts, learning to guide them purposefully, and aligning them with the life we wish to create. This is not an easy task. It requires shedding old habits, releasing outdated mental scripts, and embracing a new way of thinking. The Bible speaks of this transformation as putting off the old man and renewing ourselves in the spirit of the mind. This spiritual renewal starts with our internal speech. To change our lives, we must first change the way we speak to ourselves. In this journey, we will discover that our internal conversations are not just fleeting thoughts, they are the seeds of our future. Every moment of the day, whether we are aware of it or not, we are engaged in a dialogue with ourselves. These thoughts, these internal conversations, form the undercurrent of our consciousness. Over time, they become so automatic that we no longer question them. We become so accustomed to the voices in our head that we stop paying attention to their tone, content, or impact. And yet, they are shaping the course of our lives. Just as the body cannot function without food, the mind cannot function without thoughts. But like food, the quality of our thoughts determines the health of our mind and soul. Negative internal conversations, those filled with fear, doubt, envy, or anger, poison our inner world, while positive, uplifting dialogues nourish our spirit and align us with our true purpose. The world we experience on the outside is intricately connected to the mental landscape we cultivate within. Our external circumstances are often the physical manifestation of the thoughts we consistently entertain. And while many of us blame external forces for the difficulties in our lives, the real source of our challenges often lies within. As long as we maintain the same internal dialogue, we will continue to experience the same reality. If you want to change your external world, you must first transform your internal world. This is a process of unlearning and relearning, of becoming consciously aware of your thoughts and guiding them in a direction that supports your highest aspirations. Our internal conversations are like magnets, attracting people, events, and circumstances that reflect our dominant thoughts. When we speak negatively to ourselves, we invite negative experiences into our lives. But when we engage in positive, affirming dialogue, we begin to attract opportunities and people that align with our goals. Why do we find it so difficult to break free from negative internal dialogue? One reason is that these conversations are often unconscious. They operate in the background, beneath the surface of our awareness. And because we've repeated them for so long, they've become habitual. These negative scripts shape how we view ourselves and the world, often creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. Imagine someone who constantly tells themselves, "I'm not good enough," or "Nothing ever works out for me." These thoughts, repeated day after day, become deeply embedded in the subconscious mind, shaping not only their beliefs, but also their actions. Without realizing it, they begin to sabotage their own efforts, unconsciously seeking out experiences that confirm their negative self-view. This is the danger of allowing unchecked negative conversations to dominate our mind. They create a cycle of disappointment, frustration, and self-doubt that perpetuates itself. Trying to change your external life without addressing the negative thoughts within is like battling against a tidal wave. No matter how hard you push forward, the current will always pull you back unless you change its direction. The first step in transforming your internal dialogue is becoming conscious of it. Start by paying attention to the thoughts that arise when you're faced with challenges or when things don't go as planned. What do you tell yourself in those moments? Do you criticize yourself, or do you offer encouragement? Are your thoughts filled with fear and doubt, or are they grounded in faith and resilience? Once you become aware of these conversations, you can begin to change them. This doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect or ignoring real challenges. Instead, it means shifting the tone of your internal speech. For example, instead of saying, "I'll never get this right," try saying, "I may not have succeeded yet, but I'm learning and improving every day." This simple shift in language can have a profound impact on your mindset and, by extension, your results. The Bible offers profound wisdom on this topic, instructing us to renew our minds and to be transformed by the way we think. In practical terms, this means reprogramming our internal conversations to align with our desired reality. It requires conscious effort and discipline, but the rewards are immense. When we align our thoughts with positivity, faith, and purpose, we unlock the creative power of our mind and begin to attract the life we truly want. One of the most powerful tools for manifesting change is learning to speak from a place of fulfilled desires. This means adopting an internal dialogue that reflects the reality you wish to create, even before it physically manifests in your life. If you desire success, you must speak to yourself as if you are already successful. If you long for peace, your internal conversations must reflect a state of peace, even in the midst of chaos. Many ancient spiritual teachings emphasize the importance of aligning thought with action. In the Bible it is said, "Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." This wisdom reminds us that our speech, both internal and external, is a reflection of our inner beliefs. If we want to change our external circumstances, we must first ensure that our inner dialogue is in harmony with the life we wish to lead. In the words of Neville Goddard, you and your internal conversation are one. This means that what you say to yourself in the privacy of your mind shapes who you are and what you experience. By speaking to yourself from a place of fulfilled desire, you begin to bridge the gap between your current reality and the future you want to create. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions start to align with your vision, and as a result, your external world begins to shift to match your inner state. The idea that our inner thoughts shape our reality is not new. Mystics, sages, and spiritual teachers throughout history have spoken of the mind's power to create. The phrase, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God," illustrates the profound connection between thought, the Word, and creation. In this sense, our inner dialogue is a powerful tool for creation, just as God spoke the universe into being. Our words, whether spoken aloud or silently within, carry powerful vibrations that influence the world around us. Just as a pebble tossed into a still pond creates ripples that extend far beyond the initial impact, our internal conversations generate waves of energy that resonate outward, shaping the people, circumstances, and experiences that come into our lives. These vibrations are subtle, but their effects are profound, often creating a reality that mirrors the tone of our thoughts. When we dwell in negativity, speaking to ourselves from a place of fear, doubt, or lack, those vibrations attract more of the same. We unconsciously align with experiences that reinforce those negative feelings, as if we are inviting hardship, disappointment, and scarcity into our lives. The more we repeat these internal messages, the stronger the signal we send, and the more our reality reflects those limiting beliefs. However, the opposite is also true. When we intentionally shift our inner dialogue to focus on abundance, gratitude, and self-assurance, we begin to send out different, more positive vibrations. This shift changes the energy we project and in turn attracts circumstances and opportunities that mirror these elevated states of being. Speaking from a place of inner abundance, believing in our worth and possibilities, sets in motion a powerful transformation. Over time, this positive resonance draws people, situations, and experiences that align with our higher intentions, helping us create a life that reflects the fullness we hold within. Changing your inner dialogue is not a one-time event, it's a lifelong practice. Just as physical fitness requires regular exercise, mental fitness requires consistent attention to the quality of your thoughts. Each day presents a new opportunity to align your internal conversations with the life you want to live. Start by setting aside time each day to consciously focus on your inner speech. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself in different situations, particularly when you face challenges or setbacks. If you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, pause and reframe your thoughts. Replace self-doubt with self-compassion and replace fear with faith. One powerful technique is visualization. Take a few minutes each day to close your eyes and imagine yourself living the life you desire. See yourself in your ideal career, relationship, or health state. As you do this, pay close attention to the words you speak in your mind during the visualization. Are they words of encouragement, confidence, and success? Or are they filled with doubt and fear? By consciously aligning your inner speech with your vision, you train your mind to expect success and manifest it in your life. Imagination is one of the most potent tools for transforming your life. When you engage your imagination, you tap into the creative power of your mind. Your imagination is not a mere escape from reality. It is a tool for shaping reality. Think of imagination as a rehearsal for the future. When you imagine yourself achieving your goals, you are not only visualizing the outcome, you're training your mind and body to experience the feelings and emotions associated with that success. This process creates a powerful alignment between your internal state and your desired external reality. However, imagination requires more than passive daydreaming. It requires active engagement with your inner dialogue. As you envision your future self, pay close attention to the words you speak in your mind. Are they words of fear and limitation, or are they words of empowerment and possibility? If you find yourself encountering internal resistance, doubts, fears, or limiting beliefs, view these as opportunities for growth. These resistances are the blocks that stand between you and your desired reality, and addressing them is crucial for transformation. Resistance often arises when we attempt to change our internal dialogue, especially if we've been accustomed to negative or limiting thoughts for a long time. These resistances manifest as doubt, fear, or discomfort, and they signal areas in our mind that need healing and attention. Rather than avoiding resistance, embrace it as a natural part of the process. When you encounter negative thoughts or limiting beliefs, pause and ask yourself where they come from. Are they based on past experiences, fears, or societal conditioning? Once you identify the source, you can begin to challenge these beliefs and replace them with empowering truths. For example, if you encounter the belief, "I'm not capable of achieving this goal," ask yourself, is this belief based on fact, or is it a fear that has been reinforced over time? This act of questioning is powerful because it helps you recognize that many of your doubts are not based on objective truth, but rather on old patterns of thinking, often shaped by past experiences or fear of failure. By challenging these beliefs, you weaken their grip on your mind. This process opens the door to new possibilities, giving you the opportunity to replace those negative, self-limiting thoughts with ones that are empowering. Instead of viewing obstacles as confirmation of your inadequacy, you can begin to see them as challenges to be overcome. Each time you consciously dismantle these limiting beliefs, you make space for a mindset rooted in self-confidence and growth, enabling you to move closer to your goals with renewed belief in your own capabilities. As you continue to reshape and elevate your inner dialogue, you will gradually witness a profound shift in your external reality. The relationships you attract, the progress in your career, the state of your health, and your personal growth will begin to mirror the positive, empowering conversations you cultivate within. This transformation occurs because your inner beliefs and thoughts shape the energy you emit, influencing the opportunities, people, and experiences that come into your life. The key to maintaining this positive transformation is consistency. Just as habits form through repeated actions, your internal dialogue must be consistently aligned with your highest potential. This means choosing thoughts that support your growth and success, and consciously speaking to yourself with love, compassion, and confidence. When challenges arise, your inner voice should encourage resilience rather than doubt. By mastering the art of intentional, conscious inner speech, you unlock the incredible power of your mind to shape your reality. The more you align your thoughts with your aspirations, the more you can manifest your dreams and live in harmony with your true self. This inner work is the foundation for a life of fulfillment, as it fosters the mindset and energy necessary for realizing your deepest desires and achieving lasting personal transformation. In the end, the most important conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Every thought, every word, and every internal dialogue is a seed that will eventually bear fruit in your life. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. As you embark on the journey of transforming your inner dialogue, remember that change begins within. By consciously directing your thoughts toward positivity, abundance, and possibility, you open the door to a life of fulfillment and success. Your internal conversations are not mere words. They are the building blocks of your reality. Take control of them, and you take control of your destiny. Choose your thoughts wisely, speak to yourself with love, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never imagined possible. If you found value in this video, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll stay connected and be the first to receive our new content designed to support you on your path to spiritual growth and personal transformation. Your journey matters, and together we can create a community that uplifts and empowers each other. Thank you again, and may peace and blessings follow you on your path.